I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science. What?
It's a trap!
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap!
Science is back.
And I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrated it's doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader, not just for he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you, but it's better than smoking.
We're going to choose science over fiction.
And FDA has not used that terminology to use the most recent estimates of youth use. I will say that I'm an epidemiologist by training, so I'm fully cognizant of the definition of an epidemic, which is unprecedented increases over what you'd expect at baseline. That said, I think and know that the science has shown a decline in the number of youth users, and that's a good thing.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic.
Epidemic.
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
Vaping is not as harmful as smoking. Kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Well, help me as much as you can. No, stay the fuck out of my shit. So how in the hell is everybody doing tonight? It's Friday. It's our normal Friday enjoyable. Let's have some drinks and chill out and listen to some shitty news. Kevin is...
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Oh, see, Alexa's even trying to get involved here. Love you guys. Anyway, Kevin is here. Let me go ahead and get Kevin in so that he can already start his crotchety old grumpy man stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand that word, Patrick. Give me a better one.
What, crotchety?
No, shitty.
Oh, well, the same thing. So what the fuck is what? How you been? What's going on?
I've been aggravated all goddamn week, so you're going to be no different to the end,
sir. So keep the profanity, keep the profanity to a minimum, sir. You don't say GD, sir.
Full of shit. Are you worried about algorithms?
No, I don't want God coming after me because you said GD on the screen. I don't care about the algorithms. It's the Lord coming down and smiting. I don't want to be smitten or smoted or whatever the proper usage of that word is.
Well,
so
Paul's early.
I'm warning everybody, especially the people in the replay crew, because I be getting a lot of comments in the replay crew. You are going to want to go over to the replay on the Rumble, because the stuff that we have for the Rumble portion of the show tonight is going to be off the hook,
as
the young folks say.
Them vaping kids say that. Do they say?
Well, I don't even.
I've been trying to catch
the anti-government surveillance people and all the, those people are going to want to see that part of the show.
I've been trying to catch Logan vaping still. I can't do it. He's pretty slick.
Well, it's the refilling part for him that's probably hard because you got to get that little.
I mean, he's 5. I mean, my government's disappointing me, saying all the kids vape, and I can't catch him doing it yet.
Yeah, it's not happening. But, oh well,
he's funny as hell though.
What did I see? Oh, I saw something here today on the ground news. Remember, right?
Yeah,
been sort of promoting this website here for free, like I've been telling people, But anyway, let me show you a little bit of the ground news headlines here. Let's share. So over here on the right hand side of the screen, because we talked about Elon last week, and we had some awesome video of him defending the First Amendment, right? So Hunter Biden is not a fan of Elon. Apparently, he says that Elon is a very damaging human being who doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Can we touch on the plane headline there for me for a second?
Just nearly half of men think that they can safely land a plane in an emergency. Survey finds.
Now, you half of you people that think you can, calm down.
Well, Kevin, I mean, if you think about it, 100% of men think that they can be Batman.
Well, I was underdog. I know that when I was a kid, so I guess maybe, but half of the men that think they can should stop thinking and listen to the other half. You're a dumbass. Stop it. Just because you can play a fucking game on whatever the fuck those games are does not mean you know which button to turn and push and pull. Fuck.
Are you being a boomer over there?
I'm just thinking. Hey, Kev, you think you can land this plane? Fuck no, I don't think I can land this plane, but let's go try.
Oh, yeah, and the CDC's issuing an alert for monkeypox. We will. We do have a video later on that does talk about monkeypox for a minute.
Wasn't that
Nether?
Friden's era.
My lifetime, there have been several attempts to use their own. There's been another one. Let's see.
Well, I could probably land a plane, so I don't have to worry about any of that.
Appeals court upholds Trump's gag order, which is fine. I don't want to hear him talk anyway. 6 teenagers found guilty in connection with the beheading of a teacher.
Hey,
the beheading of a teacher. So this is our society at work. I was having a conversation in Discord with some people that I play a game with on the phone. If you want to be a gangster, you play this game called Torn, and you run a criminal empire. It's pretty cool. But anyway, one of the guys was talking about that he was partially a socialist because he believed in government control. He wanted people to get free health care and education and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yo, do you realize how horrible our education system is? I said, we're graduating kids that can't pass basic literacy tests. We've got kids that are graduating that don't understand basic civics. And again, they're always having to look over their shoulder because 1 in 10 high school or public school kids are being molested by teachers. So, I mean, I'm surprised that this is, I guess, the first beheading that we've seen on the show here. But
is that U.S.?
Yes.
Okay, well, Michael, you're probably right. Should
have just let him have a vape. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that occurred, and I probably don't want to know, but they took 6 of them.
We are not going to read that story in tonight's show. Just letting you know that I just letting you see a taste of what you would, if you would subscribe to Ground News, the type of information that you would see, because it obviously also tells you which political side is reporting each of these stories. What is being ignored by one party and focused on by the other. So yeah, it's pretty good. It lets you know what you're reading, at least if it's biased or not. So anyway, hey, Michelle Elliott's here, and Tic Tac is here from down under, and Addie and Raj and Michelle, or Michael, not Michelle, sorry, Michael.
Michelle's here.
What is that damn sound, Kevin?
This?
No, there's something going in the background.
This?
Yes.
Me shaking my leg, probably.
We'll find something else to shake it on, or lower your hair or something, whatever's causing the...
Listen, I'm trying to land a plane. Calm down.
Yeah. Toasty's here. Steve's here. There's people here.
There's people.
And Michelle and Michael are both here, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to embarrass Michael by calling him Michelle again, though. That would be rude.
I bet he thinks I can land a plane.
I could land a plane. I might forget the wheels down, but you know.
Well,
Well,
it doesn't say how the plane landed. I guess so. I guess anybody can land a plane eventually. I guess they're right. Okay, then depends on how you word it. All right.
Well, Michael's not upset. He said he's been called worse than Michelle apparently, so that's okay.
We're gonna.
We like Michelle, so we're not going to say that her name is an insult, Kevin.
No, Michelle.
No. So did you see this week? You know, remember Kevin, a couple weeks ago? It's been a while ago. We focused on a story that was written by, it's like the African American Organization for Equity or something like that, and they were sending a letter to the FDA and to the Biden administration about how unfair and racially insensitive a ban of menthol would be.
Well, you like votes, so
yeah. So it says here, the Biden administration pulls back from banning menthol cigarettes. Civil rights groups fought the ban, saying it would target black smokers. And it does disproportionately affect people of certain
But Patrick, Ash told me that they don't.
Well, Ash is a fucking idiot. Or the organization is a fucking idiot. Except for the ones in the UK. They're not quite as bad as the American
They're not as bad, but the one in the United States said there's nothing to do with that now. Nothing at all.
It also disproportionately affects LGBTQ plus YA whatever people too, because they also at higher percentages smoke.
You got to rock that vote though, Patrick.
Oh well, it is getting close. Biden is like 8 or 10 points behind the orangutan, so we're
8 or 10 points behind the other idiots. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why don't you run for president?
Oh, I can't.
Squeaky leg.
I think I have something on my record that would prevent me from being president.
Yeah.
High IQ.
Well, that too, allegedly.
The Biden administration is putting off its plan to ban menthol cigarettes until next March, after an aggressive lobbying push by civil rights groups have some sponsored by. Oh, you see what they did there, Kevin? You see that? Some sponsored by Big Tobacco, who argued a ban would unfairly target black smokers. The delay, acknowledged in an online posting Wednesday, is a major defeat for health advocates who have been pushing for years to limit access to menthol cigarettes, which are aggressively marketed in black communities, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Menthol can enhance the addictive qualities of cigarettes and make it harder to quit. Now, I myself, Kevin, could not handle menthol cigarettes most of the time.
Neither could I. No.
They were way too harsh for me. But apparently, some of these so-called experts claim that it makes them easier to smoke, which I disagree with as a person that smoked for 30-something years. Pippa showed up too.
My literal experience with this is my Marlboro Light at the time with my aunts. Benson and Hedges ultralight menthol 100s were very similar. And if I grabbed the wrong one, I could, and not paying attention playing cards, I couldn't stand it. Could not stand it. So there you go. I thought
it says here, there's a quote here from Chrissy Giuliano. She's the executive director of Big Cities Health Coalition. It says here, we can't reduce tobacco use and associated disease and death without eliminating menthol as a flavor. That's really the next step. You know, Kev?
No, it's not.
Why don't they just ban smoking?
Well, there's this thing, and it's perpetual. Perpetuity.
So
and it goes on forever. And it's like never divorcing your wife because of the kids, and the kids are like 60.
But Kevin, that thing that you're talking about is called the Master Settlement Agreement, and that is a legally binding agreement between 46 states.
Yeah, and territory.
And there were 4 separate agreements to the other 4 states, because we do have 50 states.
Puerto Rico, I think.
That we're going to pay you a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you states all agree not to attempt to ban cigarettes.
And you can't let anybody sue us now.
Yeah, that too. We want to be protected from all the other people.
And we'll just stop advertising on TV. And
we won't have any sports teams anymore and all that shit.
No.
However, Kevin, the one thing that you forget is that the federal government did not sign that contract.
Agreement. It's not a contract.
Or agreement. Yes. That agreement. Well, it technically is a contract.
It's all in the wording.
It's a legal agreement, which is a contract.
So
technically, the federal government could indeed move to ban all tobacco cigarettes.
Can you imagine the hell that would raise?
However, there is a thing called money.
Yeah,
that the federal government does indeed profit from the sale of cigarettes. On top, I mean, not as bad as the states. The federal tax on cigarettes is relatively modest compared to some of the
It's
states.
almost harmless. I'd call it harmless compared to
I'm gonna cut your leg off if you don't quit moving. Just say it.
Move my mic over here and see if that helps. There, is that better? We'll find out.
Let's hope. I would hate to have to fly to Ohio with my Sawzall. Just saying. So technically, there is a way for it to occur. There is a way for a federal ban on tobacco cigarettes to occur.
Well, sure.
However, the FDA would lose all of their tobacco user fees, which is that's how they derive their entire budget for the Centers for Tobacco Products. So if they banned cigarettes and they don't charge tobacco user fees to cigar manufacturers,
well, they're exempt, aren't they?
Not premium tobacco or cigarettes. So Swisher Sweets and the ones on the shelf at the convenience store, they might have to pay a modest tobacco user fee, but the CTP only has about 1,000 employees for the entire country. The FDA CTP, they have about 1,000 employees. For them to pay those guys and to maintain their budget, they'd have to get rid of, say, 99% of their staff.
That'd break my heart.
Yeah.
I'd be upset.
So that won't happen.
No.
All right, let's see. Let's keep going here. Let me turn my mouse doohickey here so I can scroll to the next. The Biden administration had seemed on board with restricting the sale of menthol cigarettes, with the FDA proposing the ban in April of 2022. A final rule was supposed to be released in August. When a final rule was sent to the White House budget office this fall, advocates believed that they were close to the finish line. But in private phone calls, civil rights groups, including the ACLU, the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, or NOBLE, and the Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network, warned the White House against the plan, with some officials suggesting that a regulatory crackdown would harm President Joe Biden's re-election chances with black voters.
Oh, what's that? I'm sorry. Suddenly we don't want to discriminate. Okay.
If you're confused, if you don't know who you're supposed to vote for, whether it's Obama bin Biden or
Biden
or Trump,
you were going to say Biden.
Apparently, you ain't black if you don't know that you're supposed to vote for Biden.
Here's what I think.
I do remember seeing something about that.
This is all verbal masturbation for the past 3 years about banning it, and now we're getting the climax.
Verbal masturbation.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. We're gonna blah, 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 blah. Oops.
Yeah. Addie says that he's met Al Sharpton and he's a really nice guy.
Well, that's good.
I wouldn't. I mean, I might smoke a bowl with him or something, but I'd have to go to where he lives, not here in Texas, because that's not legal here.
I think I'd rather smoke pot with Jesse Jackson than Al, though.
I don't know that Jesse doesn't seem to the type to me, but Al,
I don't know.
Al does come across as the type that he might sit down and smoke a bowl with you.
But Jesse's conversational skills are interesting, and his cadence, and I would probably enjoy that if I was high. That's all.
I mean, the rhyming, he was always good at rhyming.
Well,
I haven't seen him in years, though.
I don't know if he's dead or if he's still alive.
No, he's not dead. We would know if he was dead. They're not, but they're wheeling him around probably on a wheelchair or something. A senior administration official who spoke on condition of anonymity. There's that damn word, Kevin. I can't say it. Anonymity.
Anonymity.
That word. Well, close enough. Because of the sensitivities involved, confirmed that the delay was a result of those conversations. It is a signal to the community that lobbied on this that we heard you and we need some more time to look at this, the official told ABC News. The White House declined to comment. I can type it, Michael. I just can't say it.
That's +1 for Michael. Everybody knows that.
Can I mute? I can't mute people in here, can I?
He did that perfectly, didn't he?
Yeah. Now, anti-tobacco groups say that they worry the rule won't happen at all, especially in an election year. They point to the fact that several of the groups involved in discussions with the White House and others running ads against the ban are sponsored by Big Tobacco. Now, which of the groups that they mentioned up above, the ACLU, the Black Law Enforcement National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, or Al Sharpton's National Action Network, which one of those do you think are sponsored by Big Tobacco, Kevin? Because they're making accusations that these organizations are paid for by the Big Tobacco people.
I'd go for Al. That's my guess.
I don't. I mean, I'm sure he won't turn down a check. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. I also don't think that he's one of the kind that could be bought and paid for either. Yolanda Richardson, president of Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, said more than 45,000 black people die from smoking a year, a figure the administration knows well. I mean, if you think about it, Kevin, we know how many is it? 480,000.
It's 450 right this minute, I think, is what.
Oh, they did. They lowered it. They lowered it.
He's just random making up fucking numbers. I think it's 450 that we're going with at the moment.
So 450,000 Americans die and 45,000 black people die.
Hang on, I got it right here. What he said was, it's 460 a year. Bob, dickhead Caliph.
Oh. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying that they're claiming that 45,000 black Americans die every year from smoking, and we have 480,000 or 460,000 or whatever.
Who knows?
Almost 500,000 people die from smoking every year. So that's 10%, or roughly 10% of the people that die from smoking are black. So if that's the case, Kevin.
Yeah. They don't care about the white people. Is that what
they don't care about anybody? Apparently, they don't care about the black people. They don't care about the white people. They don't want to. They don't want to offer them any sort of alternative to, killing themselves with cigarettes.
Well,
oh, here we go. All right, so I don't know how Black Lives Matter, if willing to put. I don't know how Black Lives Matter if you're willing to. Oh, okay. I don't. Let's start over. I don't know how Black Lives Matter if you're willing to put 45,000 lives at risk by keeping menthol cigarettes on the market, she said. Noble, which is the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, lists tobacco giant Altria among its sponsors. Another group, the National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice, which ran ads against the proposed ban, is sponsored by Reynolds American.
Now, Patrick.
So neither of those organizations respond to request.
Now, based upon what you've read thus far, I'm going to read Ash's tweet for Ash.org. Okay. While tobacco companies and their lobbyists attempt to reframe the narrative on menthol cigarettes, it's essential to remember the truth. Remember what you just read. Menthol cigarettes are not, in capitalized letters, emphasized, not inherently a part of the black culture, and a menthol ban will impact sales and will not, emphasized, criminalize possession or use. So is it a thing in the black community or is it not? Because they've said it is before, and I've got their quotes above them.
Well, no, there's 3 points of interest in that thing that you just read, Kevin.
Okay.
So you said first that it would affect sales, right?
Yeah.
That it's not a part of the black culture.
Correct.
And third, that they would not criminalize possession, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so you remember last week when a guy got arrested in Australia after the health minister, what's his name? Not Mike Hunt, but the other guy.
Mark Fuckface. I don't remember.
Yeah, that guy. After he went on TV and said, "We're not going to arrest people that have flavored vape," right? He said that.
Right.
But then they turned around and arrested a guy and could put him in jail for like 10 years or something like that.
Well, the three pieces of the quotes. Menthol was more common with black youth. 1. A third of them are African Americans that use menthol. 9 in 10 black smokers use menthol cigarettes. And menthol cigarettes have been aggressively targeted at African Americans. Those are the pieces of Ash's own quotes in the past couple of years. But
right.
Now they're saying it's not inherently a part of the black culture.
But they're also standing apart from the CDC, who just in this article that we read earlier says that menthol is disproportionately smoked by African American people. So I don't know which one of these lying government agencies to laugh at first, Kevin.
Right. I don't understand which lie is which. And then, of course, there's all voting, issues that are quiet.
Yeah, that's very important. That's very important.
Well,
anyway, it says tobacco maker Reynolds American said it supports organizations that contribute to the debate on issues important to its customers. Reynolds has been clear on where it stands on this topic. We strongly believe that there are more effective ways to deliver tobacco harm reduction than banning products. Banning tobacco or banning products often leads to unintended consequences, such as the increase of illegal, unregulated products flooding the market, according to the company statement.
Imagine.
I think we've talked about black markets before, Kevin. People,
I think so. It'll never happen. There won't be
black markets create an unsafe supply, whether that we're talking about illicit drugs or whether we're talking about even legal drugs. I mean, obviously, we know for a fact that in the states that have legalized marijuana, they still have massive massive black markets because
the
products on the legal market are expensive and taxed like a mother effer. You don't think Colorado has black market weed? You don't think California has black market weed? I promise you that almost, especially in California, I promise you in California, as much illegal weed is sold as legal weed. And some of the weed that's in the legal vape shop or legal pot shops are illegal products.
No.
Promise you.
My government would have not allowed that. Ever.
Yeah. The head of the FDA, remember when we brought up black market? That will never happen. I have audio. I have it.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. So anyway, Altria did not immediately respond to requests for comment, but in a statement on menthol cigarettes and journals said, "We believe prohibition does not work and criminalizing menthol will lead to serious unintended consequences. We also believe the science and evidence does not support bans on menthol cigarettes and characterizing flavors in cigars." You see what they did there?
Mm-hmm.
You see that right there? Mm-hmm. They threw flavors under the bus except in cigars.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because we're all friends.
Sharpton's National Action Network says it participated in phone calls with the White House because it believes the menthol ban would have unintended consequences. A spokesperson did not answer questions about whether a tobacco company sponsored the organization. So here's the thing, Kevin. If you illegalize a product and a black market does pop up, what do you think that's going to do? Do you think there's going to be more or less police interactions with people?
I think unicorns will save everyone. I believe that.
Yeah. No.
And by the way, why were Gardner and
well, we're going to talk about Eric Gardner in just a second. So
not Eric. I'm talking about Philip Gardner.
Oh,
talking about his community, and Carol Magruder talking about her community, and all this. If it wasn't an issue,
who? Okay. Philip Gardner.
Glance's sister. Yeah.
Yeah. National Action Network has taken the position that unless there are real safeguards against criminal prosecution of black and brown communities, the proposed menthol ban will have unintended consequences, according to a statement shared with ABC News. This position was taken after working with Gwen Carr, the mother of Eric Gardner, attorney Ben Crump, and the ACLU. NAN, National Action Network, is also not opposed to a ban on all cigarettes. Eric Gardner, a 43-year-old man, died in 2014 after being placed in a police chokehold while being arrested on Staten Island in a dispute over selling loose cigarettes. Yeah. I'm sure, there's going to be people that are going to say, well, he brought that on himself. Fuck that. We know cops, Kevin. You and I know cops. And, the Modfather would never have kneeled on a guy's back for 7 minutes like that.
I honestly don't believe he would. But this is an exact example of, everybody's going to be safe. Everything's going to be fine. Nobody's going to get hurt, because then the cop's going to come up with a power trip and go, what do you got there, Zippy? Hey, that's not allowed, because the misinformation from the top of the tower doesn't reach the fucking peons. And then the peon's got a gun and a badge, and he's a tyrant, and he's going to fuck you up.
Now, again,
because you have menthol.
Kevin, I don't like that you're presenting. Not all police officers are tyrants, sir.
Well, that's stated pretty clearly normally. So.
We have friends. I want any hate mail from police officers. I do have Kevin's address, and I will give it to you free of charge.
They know who they are.
And if it's not hate mail, but if you just want to do a drive-by, that's fine too.
That's fine. As long as the grandson's
don't hurt the little one.
That's right. As long as the grandson's here, make sure he is. And just give me a call. Let me know when you're coming, and that'll be all right. So where the top lies, the bottom doesn't understand which lie to believe. And then I'll change my wording, some of those people who are tyrants will fuck you up. That's all. What is that a menthol cigarette? You son of a...
Well, you don't even have to. You can smell it, obviously.
Boink. You can smell menthol.
Giuliano, I can smell menthol cigarettes.
Huh.
Giuliano and Richardson said any suggestion that the rule would criminalize black smokers doesn't make sense because the rule goes after manufacturing and distribution only. So all right, Kevin. So Eric Garner was arrested for selling Lucy cigarettes. That's one of the things that caused the altercation. That there was some argument about whether there was counterfeit money or something, but the whole thing started on the Lucy cigarettes.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a black man or woman and you have an open pack of cigarettes and you're standing on a corner waiting for the walk light to light up, a police officer that's having a bad day, or one of the few tyrants that Kevin was referring to earlier, could just walk up and say, "Hey, you have an open pack of cigarettes, right? Yeah. You're under arrest because you have that is a distribution.
Intent to distribute.
Yep, right there. So don't fucking tell me what these assholes will and will not do.
I'm used to the bus, Michelle. All I know is you're going to endanger people's lives.
Yeah.
From your desk, and they're going to die, likely.
Well, these are just the nannies. These are the people that just want to regulate behavior, Kevin. They want to.
Patrick,
they don't want you to. They don't want you to enjoy yourself. They don't want you to have things that you like.
And we predict things, then they happen.
I am not going to go back to smoking cigarettes tomorrow, but if I want to, I will. Right?
Yep.
If they were to come out tomorrow and say, you know what, motherfuckers, we're banning all cigarettes, we're coming after your asses, I would be going to buy a pack of cigarettes just because they fucking told me I couldn't. Yeah. These regulations do not suggest in any way, shape, or form that individuals would bear the brunt of any enforcement, Giuliano said. Giuliano has their head up their ass if they don't realize how this works. Richardson said misinformation is a problem as much as politics. I think it's very easy for the tobacco industry to stoke fears on an issue that clearly the Black and African American community feels very strongly about and is very emotional issue for this community, she said.
Well, Ash said it's not their problem. It doesn't exist.
Ash has their head up her ass.
I get confused over the messaging. Who am I supposed to believe, Patrick? You?
Always believe me. Always.
When I don't?
Because when you don't, that's when you fuck up, Kevin. Just saying.
I don't mind doing that. I learn that way. Usually.
I don't know.
It is, Pippa. It is.
Misinformation is way bigger in politics.
Well, Bob's doing the best he can, to fight misinformation and,
No. Only when it's about the thing that he thinks is misinformation.
Right.
Here, let's play this video here. We got a video piece here.
Ooh.
This says the true cost of disposable vapes, Kevin.
Yeah. Disposable vapes first hit the UK market in 2005.
Now, disposable vapes hit the market in 2005.
Okay.
So if disposable vapes existed, Kevin, in 2005, you do realize that there's a grandfather date
here. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they were on the market in 2005 in the UK, I can't believe that they would not have made, some of them would not have made their way across the Atlantic into America by 2007. So,
and they probably did, but who knows?
Well, I mean, if we can prove that any vaping product was on the market in the United States before September 7th, 2007, I think it's 7/7. I think 9707 is the correct date. If that's the case, then that product could remain on the market in the United States forever. Because that is out before the deeming regulations. So I'd be interested to see what this vape product that was available in the UK would look like. But as far as I know, not even there was no, Steven says it would have been a Cigalike. There would be no Cigalikes have claimed that they were being sold and marketed in the United States prior to 2007. None.
Well, they evolved and went out of that type, probably.
No, even if they were available, somebody could buy the patent and produce that product.
That's true. That's true.
But no, there is nobody is claiming that. So I don't know. I think maybe this UK reporter is wrong. I don't believe the Genesis Atomizer was not on the market before 2007, Michael. I actually have one of the very first Jennies, and they were not on the market until like 2009, 2010.
Since then, they've exploded in popularity, with around 4 million people vaping in the UK. But there's a hidden cost.
Around 8 single-use vapes are thrown away every second in the UK, leaving a growing mountain of plastic waste and...
Now, is she trying to look like Doctor Who there? Where's my nerds? I mean, the long jacket. Yeah, 2008, but 2007 is the predicate date, Toasty.
And crucially, lithium batteries in their wake. With around 80% of people who use vapes saying that they don't...
Well, I mean, all of that lithium for those batteries has to be like strip mined to make those batteries. So why wouldn't we want to just put that lithium back into the environment for the next generation?
That's right.
Them correctly, it spells disaster for the environment and for local councils. Here is the true cost of disposable vapes. When you're done with a disposable vape, you're meant to take it to a proper recycling facility like this, where it'll then be sent off and taken apart so the different materials inside can be recycled properly. But how often are people actually doing this?
You do know that 120,000 a month in North London alone are being used, and at least half of those are being thrown on our streets or just simply put in bins. And that's a huge...
Those damn litter bug Brits. Where's my Brits at in the chat room? I know Pip is here. She's an Aussie. By association, you're guilty too, because
a pseudo Brit. Is that what it is?
Convicts that were sent away from the UK.
I thought that was us.
Amount
oh no, we ran.
Precious materials that can be used for other uses.
Inside every vape is a lithium battery. Lithium is a finite resource that comes with an energy-intensive mining process. If you were to take all the lithium being thrown away every year inside disposable vapes, it would add up to around 10 tons being sent to landfill or incinerators. That's enough to make batteries for 1,200 electric cars. It's expensive, but recycling centres are beginning to recapture some of those precious metals.
Oh, good.
I'm at the Sweep Kusakowski Recycling Centre in Kent. And as you can see behind me, there is just a mountain of electronic waste. This is only a small percentage of the amount we get through in the UK. The rest will get sent to landfill or incinerated. So if when you're done with your single-use vape and you recycle it properly, this is where it might end up. Justin, can you tell me a bit about where we are and what sort of stuff gets in here?
So
ignore the big
in
pile.
in Kent. We're Sweep Kusakowski. We're a waste electronics recycler. So everything you kind of see around us is kettles, toasters, computers, microwaves, vacuum cleaners, all those gadgets that we've got around our home come to us for recycling. This is about 1,000 vapes. It's about a week's worth of deliveries for us when it comes in all the other electronics we're recycling. So quite a small amount, really, compared to the amount that are actually being thrown away.
How many are being thrown away every week?
Well, the latest numbers are saying 5 million a week are being thrown away in the UK.
5 million a week? How many vapors are in the UK?
I don't know, 2.
Well, I seem to remember last week it was just a few million, like 2 million.
That's why I was thinking 2.
Yeah. So if there are 2 million vapors in the UK, and a disposable vape lasts what, a day, maybe 2?
Yeah.
There must not be any vapors in the UK that are using open systems anymore. They must all be using disposable vapes.
Well, eventually
I guess, yeah.
Those are ending up, certainly not with us. They're ending up in the rubbish collections. There's road sweepings, in with our kind of cans and bottle type recycling waste. So they really are popping up all over the place.
Should we take a look at them?
Sure.
Right.
Oh no!
Gosh, so that's
look at all those USB
1,000
sticks, Kevin.
roughly.
Yeah, about 1,000 vapes.
And you've got these in the last week.
That's right.
Would you be able to show us what's inside a vape so we can get a better idea of how they're recycled?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I can open up one for you and show you. So that's the lithium battery that powers the vape, but also causes so many problems because it is prone to catching fire.
And that happens quite often.
Can do, yes.
No.
And this is the cartridge section. There's a little.
Did you hear her?
Well, it happens quite often.
Let me.
There's 1,000 of them that haven't so
quite
far.
often. The guy says that he gets 1 million of these a week, right?
I don't.
That's the number that he threw out. 1 million a week. 1 million a week, and it happens all the time. But we see one story every couple months,
and it's it's a battery, not a fucking
So that's the lithium battery that powers the vape, but also causes so many problems because it is prone to catching fire.
And that happens quite often.
Can do, yes. And then this is the cartridge section. There's a little bit still left in there, just where the tube's been squeezed.
So what happens to the lithium battery once these are taken apart?
So when we have them, we're able to separate the battery, and the battery can go back round again and get recycled. Likewise the tube and the plastic.
Now, is there somebody whose full-time job is to take these apart to recycle the batteries, or do they have a machine? Or I mean, I'm trying to figure this out.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I think the real key is actually capturing them as a waste stream, and we're just not to any great extent.
This is expensive for councils because vapes are sold as a single unit that then need to be individually taken apart by hand.
The lithium batteries inside vapes mean that they fall under government regulation for waste from electrical and electronic equipment.
Vape manufacturers should be covering the cost of collection and recycling. But over 90% of vape producers in the UK are failing to meet environmental regulations.
The single-use vape has been on the UK market for 3 and a bit years. And in that...
Wait, now he says 3 and a bit years. Mm-hmm. That seems way more reasonable than 2005.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, hardly any producer or any retailer was meeting any of their obligations. They basically went undercover, yet have grown to be a massive market. And now we think at least 5 million of them are being thrown away every week instead of being recycled.
Oh, 5 million.
And that's because retailers who had an obligation to offer drop-off points for them in store, and the producers and importers who had a responsibility for paying for the recycling have been avoiding that responsibility whilst making massive profits as well. So it's the profit.
Those damn Chinese profiteers
that they've been making essentially has been at a cost to the public purse and avoiding all of.
You know what? I am happy that the Chinese are moving into a non-communist business model, and capitalism is taking over in China. That the Chinese are just as irresponsible as any other business makers or business people now.
No.
But the vape shops in the convenience stores and and all those people that sell these over there could just put a little bin by the door, throw your disposable vapes in here. Yeah.
All of the environmental and fire safety issues that are being caused by them. When the regulations were written, people were talking about fridge mountings. They were worried about moving from cathode ray tube television through to flat panels. It didn't envisage that we would have a piece of fast tech like a vape that would be sold in hundreds of millions, and we'd have hundreds of millions of lithium-ion batteries out there and in the wrong place. So basically, the regulations have not been able to adapt quickly enough to them.
We went from 5 million to hundreds of millions.
I mean, this is governmental / tobacco control math, Kevin.
There you go. Hashtag tobacco control math. Hashtag hundreds of millions.
Yeah,
to find out how they're meeting their legal obligation to cover recycling and collection costs.
Local councils are already cash-strapped.
Well, Michael says they need bigger tanks. Sadly, since they're a part of that TPD thing in the EU, 2 milliliter is the maximum that they're allowed to have. They have those tank
20 milligram, 2 milliliter.
Yep. Poor Brits.
Hundreds of millions.
Pippa was very unhappy about what you said about being a convict, Kevin.
I didn't say she was a convict. You can roll the tape back, Zippy.
I'm sorry that Kevin said that, Pippa.
Yeah, my ass.
Just saying.
I know Pippa knows better.
Kevin is being insensitive to your situation.
Plus, earlier this week, she rocked because she had a picture of the Grinch. And it was
only once? You're saying that she only once rocked, Kevin?
Did I say once? I didn't say the word once. I said earlier.
You said she was cool earlier this week.
I didn't say that. Doesn't mean once. What the fuck has once got to do with anything?
So you were.
She had the
all
Grinch
the times that she was cool or whatever.
No.
You didn't notice that once this week, earlier the week, you
postulating. What the fuck is wrong with you tonight?
I'm just trying to get you in trouble. Is what I'm trying to do.
Fuck. They've heard me. They know what I'm saying.
I want Pippa to come and kick your ass. Is what I want.
I ain't scared. No. What's this? Oh, good Lord.
I think she could take you. That's all I'm saying. But here, watch this.
Warning for vapers this morning. With cold and flu season upon us, doctors are alerting us of the negative impact that vaping has on fighting off illness. A new study looks at the alarming impact of vaping on airway cells.
Cleveland Clinic. Didn't we talk about them last week, Kevin?
Yeah.
I think they might be a bunch of hacks.
I think the risks are exactly the same whether I smoke
study
vape
found
or
that
not.
She says you're still her favorite.
Vaping disrupts the protective airway that plays a key role in fighting off viruses like RSV, the common cold, and flu.
People who do vaping.
It's the same lady too.
It is the same lady. Oh, now I'm falling in love.
For their upper airway, they feel more burning in their throat.
Now, for everybody, if you go to my tweet from last week where I blast the Cleveland Clinic, all of our smarter friends have gone through and picked her study apart, like line by line. They've just crushed her horrible science. I shouldn't say poorly conducted research and science.
Also, they have more cough and shortness of breath. And the vaping can expose you to can increase actually the susceptibility to the pneumonia and viral infection.
Doctors recommend those who vape talk with their family physician. There are also resources in Ohio to help, like My Life, My Quit. We have an urgent warning.
My Life, My Quit.
My Life, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's my hotline. 1-800 My Life, fuck off.
Fuck off.
It's one word. What fuck off? It's all one. 2 syllables. Don't hurt yourselves.
Febreze Rizhole. Hey,
Remember her name.
You're gonna love this one, Kevin.
I'll bet you.
You're gonna love this. All right, let's go to the next piece here. This is just a YouTube short, so
all right.
It's called Vaping Misconceptions and Diseases, Kevin. Now, somewhere in the middle of this video, you're going to complain that I'm making you watch this. I just want you to know.
I'll just do that now.
Microchip, there is a processor, and what those things have in them are harmful elements. Trace metals are getting put into that aerosol by just how it breaks down that liquid: nickel, chromium, cadmium, tin, aluminum.
Now look at her like shit-eating face there when she's throwing her finger down and she's got a.
Is she 14?
Yeah, she's a college student, so.
Aluminum and lead. That's all being found in that aerosol and what people are breathing in. Along with that, fatal conditions have increased, such as cancers, heart problems.
Where?
Now, Kevin.
Where? What?
Well, now up until last year,
yeah,
the number was 480,000 people die every year from smoking.
That's
and
correct.
Now they're saying 450,000 people are dying.
Or 60.
So that's already 20 to 30,000 fewer people dying every year of smoking related diseases.
That was in 2 years, according to Caliph.
Yeah. So I challenge this high school / college freshman person that's trying to give this presentation.
Look a puppet.
To show me these increased problems, especially the cancers, because I really want to tear that apart.
Kidney problems, lung problems. It also has an increased risk of changing psychology.
Oh, no.
First of all, having an addiction and adding a stimulant to it is never a good
Okay. Let's just having an addiction and adding a stimulant to it. You're not adding anything because the stimulant is the thing that you're addicted to, you stupid.
If it were.
Women, please cover your ears, please. Bitch.
Did you hear that? He called you a bitch.
I asked our ladies to cover their ears. So
you just called women bitches.
No, I just called that stupid woman a bitch.
Oh, all right.
I'm not saying that all women are bitches or all women are stupid, but that particular one is a stupid bitch.
One.
Yes. Let's be clear. I am not singling out every thing, female person.
Well, not all women are cranky old broads, right?
Not all. That's true. We only know one, according to you. And she's not here right now.
I do love her, though. I adore her.
But you call her a cranky old broad. That's not very
I do.
endearing.
I've been doing it for fucking, 10 years, probably.
The combination. Not to mention, the rates of diabetes goes up, and a lot of that time.
Let's see. E-cigarette or vaping associated pulmonary injury, Kevin.
Yeah. I've been trying to get that for 10 years, and I still haven't.
Yeah, because you're not smoking or vaping anything with vitamin E acetate in it, Kevin. That's why.
Well,
I'm sure if you really wanted it, we could get you one, because I'm sure that there's
could.
somebody in your area that sells illegal THC vaping products that have been cut with vitamin E.
I don't know any bad
oil
people anymore.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
It's because of the issues in the microvasculature. So all those small blood vessels, it starts to work on them. And that changes our.
All right. Now I'm just looking at this list here. cough, dyspnea, that's shortness of breath, Kevin, chest pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, chills, weight loss, and anxiety. You know, if I was going to get any of these, I would like the weight loss one, please. That's the if I'm going to get one of these symptoms. I don't get any of these symptoms. I've been vaping for 10 years, but I would really like the weight loss one. If we're going to, you know,
is our anatomy. So the incidence rates of diabetics are way up in those who vape. There was a battery in there.
Did you? I got to go back here. She says that more people are becoming diabetic.
Yeah.
Because of vaping?
Yeah.
Diabetics are way up in those who vape. There was a battery in there.
I want to see the science on that shit too.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I've never seen any science that even halfway is trying to consider that as a result to an experiment or a study. I think that's made up shit right there.
Unicornian assumption.
There's a battery in there.
There's a battery in your phone.
There's a battery in there, Kevin. All right, this is to our Aussie and our UK friends, specifically our UK friends, because apparently the Aussies are exporting their ridiculous prescription model to the UK, Kev.
Yes, sons of bitches.
You could one day need one of these to get hold of one of these. Vapes could be made prescription only under a Labour government. It's been proposed as a way to stop children getting hooked on what the Shadow Health Secretary called the gateway drug. The
gateway drug, Kevin.
I got a question when this is over.
UK Vaping Industry Association says that description is completely incorrect. The number of children vaping in the UK has tripled in the past 3 years. A government consultation which has just closed could see a...
So it went from like 5 to 15.
Yeah, it tripled.
Crackdown on disposables and flavoured vapes banned. Elf Bar and Lost Mary have already scrapped flavours like bubblegum and cotton candy after criticism the product appeal to children. Labour says prescription-only vapes are still just a...
Because only kids like bubblegum, Kevin.
That's right. There's no need for that for an adult.
I haven't had a piece of chewing gum in forever, though.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
They don't make them that last anymore.
Consideration. And of course, there's still the small issue.
Remember Bubbalicious?
I remember Hubba Bubba and Bubbalicious and Hubba Bubba. Hubba Bubba beat out Bubbalicious to me because it had longer lasting flavor, and I think the bubbles were better, and I liked it. And fuck everybody that didn't.
Issue of them not being in government to make such a law.
I got a question. So, one dumbass, I'm going to take Michael's cue. One dumbass clown says, well, these are dangerous. We don't know enough about them. Chemicals and formaldehyde. And then some other dumbass expert clown says, well, no, we should prescribe them. Then they're going to be safe.
Well, yeah.
I'm confused. Which clown do I believe? Is it the one that what? You don't have an answer.
It's hard to say, Kevin. It's really...
Answer the question, Patrick.
I don't know who to trust. I don't particularly trust anyone.
I saw somebody ask that question. It may have been Pippa. I'm not sure. But on one hand, you're going to ban them, and on the other hand, you can prescribe them. Okay, that makes them safe.
Nicotine in a patch.
Yeah, it's safe.
Or gum that's produced
Harmless.
by the companies that we like.
Harmless.
That's perfectly safe and normal. But if you vape it, you're going to be an addict and you're going to be out in the streets selling your ass so that you can pay for your
how
next
come,
fix.
Patrick, listen, if you and I were children and we got caught with our vapes and it were, in fact, the nicotine, any of y'all can join in on this and talk amongst yourselves if you wish. Wouldn't we find a way to freebase that some other way, or inject it, or suck on the patches? Because those are pretty easy to hide.
Well, I
You
mean,
can stick
we
one on your
actually
balls.
We do know a
Right?
scientist who has studied nicotine extensively for like 50 years.
Yeah, Yeah.
Dr. Paul Newhouse out of Duke University. He has written extensively about nicotine and has been quoted as saying, I've injected people with nicotine for 50 years and never has a single one of my test subjects ever come to me and said, can I have some more, please?
Well, you see, Steve's statement is pretty accurate, and so is Pippa's. I'm just thinking, why won't these kids just run over there, snatch one from the shelf, a patch, and just put them on their balls? That way, nobody will ever know except the perverts at the fucking schools.
Well,
who say drop your pants.
That's
right?
I mean,
that's concealed.
Strip searches are on the increase in schools, Kevin.
So literally, you could literally never be found out unless you're strip searched.
I think what we're going to have to do to keep educators from asking to strip search children or to try to fondle children. I think we're going to have to just send all kids to school with like padlocks on their britches.
Yeah.
But then they'll just shit themselves. So
I say we punch the ones in the face that want to do that.
Well, let's do that then. I don't mind smacking a teacher around.
I'm not against it. Some teachers, not all teachers.
Before I get the hate mail from all the people that love their teachers when they were in school, let me clear this up by saying a lot of teachers are awesome and amazing and do not want to fondle your children.
That's right.
But
there are some.
10% of all U.S. public school students are molested by teachers.
That 10% is more than the vape.
We need to figure out a way to weed out the pervs and take them out behind the barn.
There you go.
So that the other teachers can do good job.
There you go.
Yeah. Just saying. I don't know how we do that. I mean, I don't know how you would figure out which ones are pedos and which ones aren't, but we need to do that. Definitely. Yeah. But anyway, here, Kev, let's talk about some swine flu and stuff now. Yeah, let's talk about some swine flu here.
For a checkup on the nation's health with concerns about swine flu, as well as Labour weighing up proposals to further restrict sales of vapes or e-cigarettes.
So I just want to know who in editorial at Sky News decided that those two topics needed to be part of the same interview. They could have broken that into two segments, is all I'm saying.
Well, they're pressed for time.
Yeah.
Talk about those issues now with Dr. Emeka Okorocha, who's here with me. Very good morning to you. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Thank you.
So let's start talking about swine flu, because there's been a recent case that was identified by someone in North Yorkshire. That's right.
Exactly.
So should we be concerned about this at all?
So I came to speak on this before. So it's a new strain that's been discovered with one individual, and we don't really know the demographics or where it's come from or how transmissible it is. So basically, I think UK HSA have now advised that people who've been in close contact with that individual now will self-isolate. So those people who've been contacted themselves.
Okay, so they will self-isolate. That sounds familiar to us.
Exactly. I think that's why the worry is, but they're quite on top of it at the moment. So those people who are self-isolating will have tests every 2 days. And on the 10th day, after they've had 5 tests, if they're negative, then they don't need to self-isolate anymore. So I think it's more just getting on top of everything. Not that the nation should be worried at the moment, but like I said, the person who was tested positive had minor symptoms and recovered quite well.
Okay, so I was going to ask you what it's like. I mean, what is it like to get swine flu? Is it a horrible illness, or is it like...
At the moment, you're going to get similar symptoms to seasonal flu, like sore throat, cough, wheezing, runny nose, and these should be mild flu symptoms, usually self-limiting. You're going to recover quite well. If you're seriously unwell, we obviously do, say call 999.
Kevin,
what?
Michael says that swine flu doesn't exist because he's never gotten it from eating bacon. But obviously, somehow the swine flu is transmitted from pigs into people.
Yeah.
What do you have to do with that pig to get the swine flu?
I don't know, but I do recall specifically that Dr. Frieden alluded to never having sex with mosquitoes to get some other thing. I forget.
Well,
I'd have to find the tweet.
I'm sure that there are some people in the chat room that might be capable of having relations with the mosquito, but
I wouldn't want to assume. That'd be, awful shitty of me, but you never know.
999, especially if you've been in contact with this person who's had swine flu, to tell the call handler, who can obviously alert the doctors and let them know that you've been in contact with someone with swine flu, so we get the PPE and act accordingly.
Yeah, and do you think we've learned lessons from COVID
Yes.
when we're dealing with the different?
Exactly. That.
The C word. I'm gonna get my channel locked again, Kevin.
That's why I'm not too worried at this moment, because I feel like we learned a lot of lessons in terms of self-isolation, testing, quarantining, and getting on top of viruses before they can spread.
Okay, let's talk about vaping, because
No.
Labour is looking at this proposal
Yeah.
to ensure that people have a prescription before they use a vape. What do you make of that?
So Labour have said if they win the general election, it's one of the things they want to crack down on. And I'm not necessarily political, but as a clinician, I think it's a good thing, because I've actually asked.
So, for those of you that don't know, Labor is kind of like the liberals in America, or the communists. Either one of those terms will be fine for Labor. Just
Spearheaded some campaigns when talking about some of the risks of vaping to young people. These come on the back of some statistics that it's tripled in the last 5 years of how many people between the age of 11 and 17 are actually using vapes. So 1 in 5 people are using vapes. And I don't know about you, but I don't feel that old. But back in my day, I didn't see any. I didn't see any vapes. And
that's because they were all smoking.
I didn't see any vapes either, because everybody was smoking cigarettes.
Hey, Michael, I'll cuddle with any of you except Patrick.
Please don't. I want to be the big spoon.
Know the long-term consequences of vaping, what implications that could have on the NHS. And we do know in the short term that most vapes will contain nicotine, which is a stimulant and an addictive substance. And a lot of children will be getting addicted and getting hooked on these vapes and taking more and more and more and have negative effects. And then this could obviously be a problem in the long term.
And yet, there'll be plenty of people that will say, I vape, but I don't smoke. It's helped me give up smoking. And even on the NHS guidance, they say that e-cigarettes are far less harmful than cigarettes. So they would say, why would you do anything to block?
That's a general misconception.
Really?
We got a British doctor's fixing to put his foot in his mouth and say something against the NHS.
Wow.
Misconception that they're much healthier than cigarettes. This is because you're getting an e-liquid. Obviously, you're inhaling it via like an aerosol or a vapor, rather than actually smoking and tobacco. However, we don't know the long-term effects, and we.
There we go.
You just said you did.
These are the fucking buzzwords right here. This guy. This guy.
You know that it's so much more accessible for children, and if you look at the marketing of a lot of these vapes, I'm not a vape connoisseur myself, but they have flavors such as bubblegum, blueberry, strawberry. They have bright colors, and it's becoming a very social thing. So you see kids in schools at break times now all vaping and passing around vapes. And like I said, we don't know what it holds in the future, but we.
All right. Now, I will say this, Kevin.
What?
If you put it in your mouth, do not pass it to somebody else.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Now, I'd pass a joint in my day.
No. I just keep it. I just Bogart the shit out of that.
Didn't mind that.
Once it's been in somebody else's mouth, I ain't putting it in mine.
Not in a pipe, though. Never in a pipe. No, big Bogart and the Badubich. You can't do that.
I'd be Bogarting that shit. I wouldn't be passing the Dutchie. Fuck you. I'm keeping it. I don't want your damn.
Hey, who wants to cuddle, by the way?
Yeah. I don't want your damn germs.
But we do in the short term, you could have nicotine addiction and then withdrawal.
Okay, I suspect we might be talking about this again with you in the future. But
I suspect we will.
Dr. Omega
Withdrawals, Kevin. Withdrawals.
Oh,
we need to get one of our friends that's that was, like addicted to something really bad.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that we know in the industry that
I don't know anything about addiction. I don't know what you're speaking of, Mister.
I interviewed, what is his name? I can't remember he was in prison for trafficking and being, he was Like he'll tell you how bad it is.
I don't remember
comparing.
We had or you had?
Keith. It was Keith. What's his name? Shit.
Gossip.
But anyway, Keith, I would like to talk to somebody that was, allergic to, or not addicted to heroin or something. Come in here and talk about the difference between being addicted to nicotine and addicted to heroin.
Well,
yeah.
According to
I myself didn't do that. I did smoke pot, but it really didn't do shit for me. I'd much rather just drink a bottle of whiskey myself, but
to each his own or her own or their own.
Yeah. Oh, here's one for our Aussies. Let me play this Aussie story, Kevin.
You guys are getting a whole lot of media going on.
Yeah. Let's see. This woman looks exactly like the UK woman. It's like they're,
Kindergarten kids vaping. It's hard to believe, but these are the stories coming out of schools as more and more children become addicted to nicotine.
Now, where are all right, Pippa?
Yeah.
I don't know if Pippa has children or not, but Pippa, don't be letting your kindergartners vape, man. I'm just saying.
Don't yell at Pippa.
No, I'm just,
Pippa!
She's the only Kiwi in here right now. Or
yell at Paul. Yell at Paul. He was lurking.
Paul's been quiet. Paul, I think Paul left.
He was lurking. He probably is still.
I think he ran away.
Tell him go take care of them little fuckers.
But I know for a fact that he hasn't procreated recently. I do know that he has a child that's older. But...
Michael, I'm telling you, I have tried to catch Logan and I can't. He's awful slick. Plus, it's not my problem. They're not my. It's not my child. It's my
not
grandchild.
A big ask for your 5-year-old grandson to outsmart you, Kevin. I'm just saying.
He is.
Anyway,
smart.
let's go back to this Aussie convict woman talking about 5-year-olds vaping.
Tonight, we take you inside the operation, stopping illegal imports at the border as the race to ban vapes ramps up.
The situation is appalling and it has to be stopped.
Now, that was an Anakin's lied tube right there. I saw that. There.
And vapes ramps up.
Look right there.
Yeah,
actually
what
all
like.
three of those are Anakin devices. Because that pink one is this.
Yeah.
That pink
The
one
silver
is this.
one is this.
Yeah.
I love my slide.
I'm gonna have to call Demetrius and
Phil
and Phil and have them
verify the third one.
Beaten. I think that's a scepter. I think that's a scepter is what that is.
I don't know. I have no idea.
The situation is appalling and it has to be stopped.
As a society and as a community, we're meant to be protecting our young people.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing short of a crisis.
It is now endemic in all of our schools, in all of our communities.
Endemic.
That just means that it's so pervasive. It's endemic, Kevin. And that means that they've done a piss poor job of teaching children and
enforcing the law, like it said right on the fucking package. Not for anyone that's a minor. You fucking idiots.
Vaping, a health threat gripping our kids.
We've been really alarmed about the increase.
Now they can take every gun away from people in Australia.
That's
alleged. They can't figure out a way to take every vape out of a child's hands.
Well, no, these are extremely smart people with I Love Me walls who cannot do that. That's right. That's correct.
Increased uptake of vaping amongst young people since 2019. We first flagged it.
While the federal government is in the process of outlawing vapes, it's feared the horse may have already bolted.
We're hearing of stories of, kindergarten.
Well, here's the horse.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
We don't have a minute to spare.
We have to attack this at every single level.
That's right.
Recently, New South Wales education and health officials came together to brainstorm a battle plan to vaporise vaping. Health Minister Ryan Park.
This is by far and away one of the biggest public health issues our young people face and our community faces.
Listening and sharing our young.
They are targeted to kids.
13-year-old Angelina Sidhu is in Year 8.
The colours, the flavours, the design, everything.
It's seen by some kids as the cool thing to do.
When you go into the bathrooms, you see a lot of students vaping.
All right, Kevin. Now, if I walked into a school with my pipe, how many kids would come up to say, "That's cool"?
Probably none.
Old man.
Because you're old, right? I have a question, Patrick. It's been bugging me for, I don't know, like 2 minutes. Thank you. Why? And if you can answer this for me. If it is so addictive, why has never, ever a news crew ever that I'm aware of shown kids, in that secret documenting bullshit story, like in a van, watching them walk out of school and going home and having, clouds, just like cumulus clouds forming? And okay, is it just me? That's little shit that gets in my head. I don't know.
Well, there's already a lot of shit in your head, Kevin.
I mean, really, on the way to or the way from school, you think there would be like rain clouds, in fact, because it's so prevalent in Australia, obviously, in the United States. Why are you wet, son? Were you vaping? Get in my office. And to the earlier comment, Michelle, I think there should be cameras in every office. Maybe not the nurse's station, but every office, every administrative office.
I think the only place there shouldn't be a camera in schools in the bathroom, Kevin.
Well, the nursing station could be a possible place as well.
We didn't have.
But you wouldn't take
when I was in school.
They wouldn't need to take them there
at school.
Right.
When I was in school 100 years ago, Kevin, none of the kids were on medications that had to be given out by a nurse, so we didn't have nurses in school.
We had one. Not in
if you
elementary
fell and
or
stabbed
junior.
your knee or something at school, then the teacher had a Band-Aid.
High school, it was a sports area that had a little thing.
No, we didn't have that either. They had an athletic trainer that would come on game night and maybe once a week during practice, and that was it.
Yeah.
But anywho, let's keep going.
Year 9 student, 14-year-old Porter Christ.
There's a lot of peer pressure involved in vaping.
It was neglected.
What? All right, listen to that girl talk. You told me that she's not an American. That's a fucking plant right there.
Oh,
that's a Bloomberg paid student right there.
Cool thing to do.
When you go into the bathrooms, you see a lot of students vaping.
See, no.
Housing to students actively enrolled in undergraduate programs.
Alexa, shut up.
You stop being so rude to her.
That girl did not have an Aussie accent. That is a Matthew Myers paid student.
Maybe she's the ambassador of our country. I don't know.
Oh, Pippa said kids here talk American.
Oh my goodness.
Is that trendy for them?
Is that bad?
Get rid of their Aussie heritage. They're
trying not to be convicts. Yeah. I didn't want to be like Paul.
Now, if you
Year 9 student, 14-year-old Porter Christ.
There's a lot of peer pressure involved in vaping.
It was neglected. We saw the early warning signs. We did try and alert the government.
Craig Peterson is the president of the Secondary Principals Council.
This is not a school problem. It's not just a health problem. It's a broader societal issue.
Now he's saying that the convict society in Australia.
It's that damn Bruni. That's who it is.
Oh, it could be. Could be. There's one of our other Aussies finally show up after
he's taking a walk down the street and he's influencing these fucking kids.
Hour and 30 minutes of me blasting the convicts in Australia, and Bruni finally shows up.
And then for the record, I would cuddle with Bruni.
You just want to curl up with his beard.
But it's permeating from the high schools into primary schools.
Them fuckers.
At a rate that is pretty horrendous.
That's right.
Primary school principal Helen Craigie.
We know it's illegal, but that hasn't stopped it.
See? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not going to say the convict word. Oh, I just said. I'm not going to say it again.
They're just outlaws. That's all.
They know it's illegal, but they're flying the pirate flag already.
Most vapes are not only laced with nicotine, they also
laced. Kevin,
how are they laced? Lace is a really sad word to get to your point.
Yeah,
you fuck.
That just makes it sound even more illicit, you know.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, did you know that your vape is laced with nicotine?
Also contain toxins such as formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead.
Arsenic.
Yum. What is that?
It has to stop, and it will be stopped.
No, it doesn't.
Queensland.
It won't stop. It has to stop, and it will be stopped, Kevin.
Oh my God.
And Chief Health Officer Dr. John Gerard fears it'll be years before we know the full impact of vaping.
It will take years for the medical evidence to be accumulated, and we cannot afford to wait.
The new federal
You know why they
laws
can't
due
afford
to
to
come
wait,
to play-
Patrick? Do you know why they can't afford to wait?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be very embarrassed if they let it go through.
No. See what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen, Kevin. There all these nannies, all these prohibitionists, all these assholes, the no fun police, whatever you want to call them, they're going to succeed and get shit like criminalized.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10, 15 years from now, the science is going to come out and they're going to go, oh shit, we banned that thing that could have saved, 10 years. That's 400, just in America alone, 480,000. That's 500,000 people a year. In 10 years, that's 5 million people that died, Kevin.
And they don't want to be embarrassed by it, so they want to keep it away from them.
Yeah,
because they're fucking wrong.
The place early next year will make vapes a prohibited import.
That will give us a lot stronger arm in terms of being able to respond to organised crime becoming involved in the illicit vape market.
Now, okay, so
I didn't realize this was going to become a comedy show. All right,
the organized crime.
Yeah, look at him. He
in
can
Australia.
handle it.
So the all the other crime is just disorganized crime.
Well, that's true.
Already, Australian Border Force is targeting vape imports. As the law stands now, if they're nicotine-free, they can be imported. But while most are labelled nicotine-free, Therapeutic Goods Administration testing too often tells a very different story.
ABF and TGA strongly suspect that they're nicotine vaping products.
Recently, A Current Affair joined an Australian Border Force operation seizing suspected imports.
Looking at it, it doesn't stand out to me as a vaping product. It could be a highlighter in a pencil case. It could be.
That doesn't look anything like a fucking highlighter.
Well, sure.
And it's not long enough to hold a damn pencil.
He's good at gaslighting, though, isn't he?
I have it right here. That is not as big as a pencil. You cannot put a pencil in that, Kevin.
You could drill it. Nothing a good drill can't fix. Don't call me a whore.
A big cigarette lighter. It could be, I don't know, it could be
Looks like a phone
a
charger,
USB charging device.
It
or
could
one of
be a
those
weapon.
sticks or
Shut
something.
up.
Yeah.
What you see here
Your
is
weapon,
literally the tip of the iceberg, and most of it's come from China. There are about 1 million separate vapes in this facility alone, but it's only a fraction of what's being shipped into Australia.
So we've got about 25 tonnes of cargo here, and this is just one cargo depot in Sydney. There's 140 cargo depots in Sydney.
Border Force Deputy Commissioner Tim Fitzgerald hopes the new legislation will help arrest the problem.
In the first 3 days of that particular operation, we intercepted over 35 tonnes of illicit vapes. That equates to around 350,000, 400,000 individual vapes.
Oh, where is my buddy Dimitri? That is an Anakin device. There's no nicotine in there because it's not filled.
Pippa said it could be a vibrator. Just for anybody that's not paying attention to the chat.
You know, sometimes you want, you know.
A nicotine
But international crime syndicates have already seized on Australia's vaping appetite.
The margins are that great that if an organised crime syndicate gets through one container and we seize 9, they're still making a profit on that particular container, that one container that got through.
Deputy Commissioner Fitzgerald also believes the vaping problem is a societal issue.
What?
I think it's been driven by demand. So the demand is there in the community for the use of illicit vapes.
I cannot believe that our children are becoming addicted to nicotine in the 21st century.
Dr. John Gerard fears the fallout in years to come.
This is really a terrible problem, and we need to stop it, and we are going to stop it.
I can't believe you're that incompetent that you can't already have fixed the problem. I don't
can't believe that you're so stupid to believe that it's actually a fucking problem.
I think Bruni should just stand out in front of every kid and just go, boo!
Yeah.
And then we'll cuddle.
But, you know, that whole story started out talking about kindergartners.
Well.
And then they moved on to this topic without actually establishing the fact that they actually did have a kinder. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lead-in bait and switch story.
Yeah, that's what that fucking shit was. Just saying,
well,
Kev.
Despite all the bullshit you guys are going on and having down there in Australia, I love all of you. So,
some of you,
well, especially Bruni. I love me some Big B.
I can't believe that you're going to put Bruni above Pippa. I just
so close though.
I can't believe that.
Just arm in arm. We'll just walk down the street together. Don't matter to me.
No, you already dug that hole, buddy. You said especially Bruni.
Especially Bruni.
Ignored the fuck out of
Big
Pippa on
B.
that one.
Big B.
Yeah, here, watch this one.
What is this? Oh, God.
Everyone, Sadie here. So you're wondering, what's so bad about just one vape pod? You may think that just trying one can't hurt, but think again. One vape pod is worth about 20 cigarettes.
Oh, boy.
One pod is equivalent to 20 cigarettes. Oh, my God, Kevin. That is so bad.
You know, I've got up to 720 on one, so I think 720, 740.
See, Pippa says that I'm catching up now.
Yeah, but you still called her a convict, so you know, it's hard to go from 0, Patrick. So rising could be like a 5 by this.
Kevin, compare that I called her a convict.
Yeah.
And you chose Bruni
over the big old B, the big old Bruni man, the thunder from down under.
You see, our friend Andrew showed up.
I see. Woo!
That's 20 cigarettes worth of nicotine in your lungs every vape pod. Could you imagine what one pod a day for 2 weeks will look like?
Yeah, no cigarettes.
Like you didn't smoke any cigarettes.
Yeah, that's what I look at it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. Keep it clean. Don't vape.
Now, please, young lady, get your breathing machine out and put 280 cigarettes through it, and then
oh my God,
look at what your lungs look like. Look at the capture, the cotton capture in your smoking machine, and then put your 280 cigarette vape through. You're going to see a big difference.
It's the pseudoscience, Lady Sadie.
Well, no, it's just there's shocking people with a pile of cigarettes. There's no actual science in her science. She's called the science lady, Kevin. And she's doing no science. She's doing propaganda.
Unscientific. Yes, correct.
I don't trust Bill Nye at all, Steve. He's also a fucking retard.
He blocked me too.
That guy's a fucking fraud.
Oh my God.
Vape.
It's like Sanjay Gupta. That guy's a fucking fraud too.
No. Pippa said she'd choose Bruni too.
Well, of course she would choose Bruni to convicts. I mean, come on, they've got stuff in common. I can't believe you
pick on Pippa or pick on Bruni Day.
I pick on everybody today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm full of piss and vinegar today, Kevin.
Well, I know.
Oh, this is a news story here, Kevin. You're gonna
no real news or clown stories.
Oh, you're gonna love this headline. Let me. I'm gonna pre-rub it here. Let's get the fluffer in here to fluff it. All right. I gotta just so the first thing you see is the headline. There you go. Let's. You're gonna love this one.
I don't believe you.
Here. Vaping can lead to premature death in young users, Kevin.
Well, yeah, if they go to the fucking black market, I'm sure it could. We've proven that at least twice. There's been murders.
MUW professor, alarming statistics increase need for awareness. Scroll down here. More than 5.6 million youth will face premature death because of vaping, according to the CDC. Lauren Beth Turner, an assistant professor of nursing at the Mississippi University for Women, shared that alarming statistic Thursday with Heritage High School students during a program focused on the dangers of vaping.
Yeah, of course.
Vaping is highly marketed towards young people, she said.
Yeah.
She outlined health issues vaping can cause, such as bronchiolitis obliterans or popcorn lung. Kevin.
I've been trying. I told you.
Kevin.
What?
Has anybody ever been diagnosed with bronchiolitis obliterans due to smoking or vaping?
I thought once they were dead, they could have possibly maybe been, but I don't think there has been yet.
There has never, not once, never, ever been a person that vaped or smoked, because the substance that causes bronchiolitis obliterans, it's called diacetyl or diacetyl, depending on where you're from. Diacetyl does exist in some legacy vape products.
Yeah.
That are like over 5 to 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Because about 5 years ago, every company removed it from their flavor ingredients.
Yeah.
But it did exist at about 100 times the level in a vape in cigarettes. It existed in
Really?
cigarettes at 100 times the level that the worst vaping product had.
Oh, I thought it was like 750 times. But anyway, it's
No.
more.
There were
more.
some pretty bad culprits in the e-liquid industry that did have extremely high levels of diacetyl or diacetyl, depending on where you're from.
All right.
Actually, Kevin, one of the e-liquids that was made for us when we had the vaping militia, the liquid was called Declaration, and Declaration was an awesome strawberry custard e-liquid. And I should let me say awesome one more time. Awesome. Because the diacetyl was so awesome. And then
I'd like to have mine laced with it.
When they tested it, the manufacturer said, "Oh no, we're not making this anymore."
Well, I'd like to have mine laced with it.
Could you give me the recipe, please? And they said, "No." I said, "You're not going to make it anymore." No. But it was awesome, dude. That was
who doesn't want?
There used to be an e-liquid company called Baker White, and Baker White manufactured Declaration for the vaping militia, and it was essentially two of their e-liquids that they made separately mixed together to make.
And
it was awesome. Just saying.
Well, there you go. But you haven't got popcorn lung yet. I don't understand.
I have not.
Why are you not trying hard enough?
Gallons, literally gallons of that shit. It was awesome.
I can't imagine with all these vape comps that I saw on TV and in the news that nobody got it yet. I'm really disappointed in this community. I'm all I'm saying is you needed to try harder, people. Not one example. Oh, look, there's Bob. He's dead. He had popcorn fucking lung because he vaped. Not one Bob in the whole world.
Well, Pippa, bronchiolitis obliterans does exist. It did exist prior to the outbreak in the popcorn factory. It was just popularized by the popcorn factory, but it is a real condition that does exist. It is extremely rare, and really the only way that you can 100% diagnose it is in a post-mortem exam. Now, Kevin,
what
have you ever done a post-mortem examination of a human person?
No, nor do I want to.
See, I personally, Kevin, me, I have conducted over 3,000 post-mortem examinations in my lifetime.
Yep. And you like that shit, right?
I enjoyed cutting on dead people.
You didn't see any popcorn.
I found it to be an amazing, enriching experience. Seeing how everything fits together in a human body. It's awesome shit. But guess what, Kevin? Even after diagnosing or seeing, how these people passed away, the cause of death.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was, blunt instruments, sharp instruments, bullets, all sorts of stuff. I never once saw popcorn lung.
Just room temperature challenge kind
any
of
of those
stuff.
people. Yeah.
But if you saw it, would you expect to exhume like popcorn kernels or kernels of corn or is there no?
I have seen highly advanced COPD. I've seen cancers. I've seen all sorts of other things. But never popcorn.
No popcorn lung. Huh.
No bronchiolitis obliterans. But anyway, let's continue here. Where were we at? We anticipate that we will see long-term lung damage over time, just as we did with cigarette smoking, because of the harmful ingredients found in vape solutions, Turner said. Many vape solutions contain things such as formaldehyde or antifreeze. So loads of carcinogens. False. Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't already know, the human body actually excretes somewhere in the average area of about 3 ounces of formaldehyde a day. Our bodies naturally create formaldehyde. It is excreted in our sweat. It is, urinated out from our bodies through our
breath
stuff. It's also condensed in our exhalations. So if that's the case, then our bodies already produce a carcinogen.
Yes.
As far as the antifreeze claim, yes, propylene glycol is used in green, safe for the environment, safe for your pets antifreeze. It is non-toxic. It is designed. It is created specifically to be hypoallergenic.
Oh, there. See, look.
I would love some good news, Skip. But if you want to share it, I'll send you the link, and you can come on if you want to tell us. But we like good news.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. I like good news. I'll even pause this article if you want to give us good news.
Well, yeah.
We love our friend Skip.
Well, yeah.
Even though Kevin calls her a cranky old broad.
That's right. I ain't scared.
I would be.
I'll just hand her a damn jar of peanut butter when she gets here. I ain't scared of her. I am not afraid.
She will crack you over the head with that jar of peanut butter.
I'll hand her a knife and a jar of peanut butter. That's how unafraid I am.
Well, you have to hand her also bread if you're going to hand her a knife.
Well, first I'm going to hand her the jar. That'll distract her. Then I'm going to hand her the knife because she's already got the jar. So there you go. What?
I can't open that, Kevin.
Skip, I still love you. We were talking about cuddling earlier, and it's up to between you and Pippa and Bruni.
I want our very good friend Mark to send us more photographs of his artwork. Yeah, let's see. Turner explained that inhaling carcinogens can increase inflammation in the respiratory tract. So even if they haven't any side effects at a young age, it doesn't mean that down the road we won't see long-term consequences. Generally, what happens with a carcinogen is repetitive exposure over time leads to detrimental results. Water is wet. But there are no carcinogens in vape liquid or in e-liquid, Kevin.
No.
None. And anybody that says so needs to have their medical license revoked.
Yes.
Look at her. She's ruining all of our fun, Kevin. She says, I lock my phone. Kevin's photography days are done.
He should have the freedom to choose to get his ass kicked. That's what I think.
You're supposed to encourage the arts.
I should venture to say that she should.
She's just victimizing our very good friend Mark. I'm so sad. Turner encouraged students that do not vape to avoid it, adding that there are resources available to students that want to quit vaping. Usually all you have to do is reduce your nicotine level a little bit over time, and then you won't need it no more. That's pretty simple, Kevin. Well, if you have started vaping, please contact an adult. Those are hard to come by these days, Kevin. The government doesn't want parents to be adults anymore. There are people that care about you. We love you more than we hate the thing you're doing. For parents concerned about children vaping, Turner recommended being aware of all of the resources available. There's all sorts of stuff out there, she said. There's quitting resources, there are preventative resources, as well as teachers and school counselors who definitely will not try to strip search your kids.
No.
And parents who are just solely want to know and gain knowledge for prevention purposes. Guidance counselor Amanda Shelton said it is important for students to have these conversations at school. We have these programs because we want to educate our students, Shelton said. If it's something that we that might not be talked about at home as much, then the school can do these tough topics and talk about Kevin.
Well, I don't know where the line is anymore, Patrick. What?
Kevin.
What?
The school, you remember like 4 weeks ago, we talked about the situation in California on the Rumbles where the governor of California basically, after January 1st, is giving police the right to arrest anyone that is homeless or who might appear to be a drug addict, whether they're committing a crime at the time or not.
Under assumption, yes. But yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So, and then we had a psychologist that said that it is his right to withhold the liberties and freedoms of people.
Adults, yep.
Yeah. So this is essentially the school saying, we're going to do your job for you, parents.
Well, parenting is an action
That's
word.
what this highlighted sentence is saying.
It's all in the wording. It is.
We're going to tell you how to raise your kids. If you don't do the thing that we want you to do, just like we want you to do it, we're gonna fucking brainwash your kids, whether you want us to or not.
Well, ain't that neat?
That is 1984, Kevin.
Well, it's triple plus good now, though.
Yeah.
Because now the kids don't realize what's happening, and the adults, I don't really sometimes think they do either. I really don't. Some of them are just too stupid. They just go, "Oh, have we always done it this way? Oh, that's great. We'll just keep doing that then." They don't question authority. I don't understand how you cannot question authority. I do not understand that.
They don't want you to, though. They want you to worship their authority. They want you to obey, Kevin.
Lick your ass is what they want you to
get
do.
in line, or we're gonna. Well, and if you're the nail that stands up, we're gonna hammer you.
Open the door.
Yeah. So here's our science from the Journal of Neuropsychopharmacology, Kevin.
Yeah, is this one I sent you?
This is something that you sent me. It says factors influencing JUUL e-cigarette nicotine vapor-induced reward, withdrawal, pharmacokinetics, and brain connectivity in rats. Sex matters. It's right there. I'm just reading it. It's colon.
Just go to the bottom. Oh, why you got to say colon?
Well, colon sex matters too, Kevin. So I'm going
all
the way to the bottom.
You can go any way you want, but just go to the.
You said go to the bottom, so I'm going to the
Go
bottom.
to the bottom. Well, the assumptions, whatever they call it, conclusion,
discussion. There's got to be a conclusion.
Yeah, you can do
There's
discussion.
Withdrawal, pharmacokinetics. I just saw it.
It's rats either way, but.
Oh, we have a story for later on in the Rumbles about rats.
Oh.
You know how I like to do my rat stuff over on the Rumbles.
Go ahead and read this and don't laugh.
Overall, our findings suggest that the effects of nicotine vapor are differentially affected by both sex and age. While our previous findings found male adolescents to be more sensitive to nicotine vapor's rewarding effects compared to adults, our current results show the opposite in females. Increasingly, despite higher plasma and brain nicotine concentrations, we also see no effects of nicotine on locomotion or withdrawal in females. Our fMRI, that's functional MRI, by the way, findings show significant overlap with previous clinical and preclinical studies, especially in the insular and cingulate cortices, with a greater impact on female rats exposed to nicotine vapor, particularly in hypothalamic connectivity. These findings taken together show that, like humans, JUUL vapor can produce reward and dependence in a sex and dose-dependent manner, as well as a sex-dependent, long-lasting changes in brain circuitry relevant to addiction.
Now, Patrick.
Yes.
If you can say the words in a broad statement that nicotine is addictive and it's, brains and kids and fucking,
apparently not in female rats.
You're all going to hell, but then they can allude to this. I don't know which clown to believe again. It's all about the clowns for me tonight.
Well, we know, Kevin, that there is a wide variability in neuroreceptors in humans, whether that is in male to female, from one female to another female, from one male to another male, to regardless of whatever, that human brains vary widely on neuroreceptors.
Right.
So some people can smoke pot and not get a big deal out of it, whether that's boy, girl, some boys, some girl, everybody's different. There is a lot of biodiversity in within the species itself. Within, I have friends that can do. I actually know quite a few high functioning cocaine addicts over the years.
Okay.
They could snort 100 lines of coke, go about their business, does not affect their lives in any negative way.
Right. Yeah.
Because their brain only absorbs a certain number because they have fewer receptors in the brain for that particular substance.
Functioning alcoholics I've known, absolutely.
I'm a high functioning alcoholic, so you know me.
Well, see.
However, there are other people that have larger numbers of those chemical receptors in the brain that do have issues because they absorb even higher numbers because they have more receptors.
Right.
So when they do a study like this and they claim that all rats are equal and all humans must be equal as well,
they're not.
They're not.
Because fuck that.
It's like when you know it, like a skinny guy that can eat like an entire cow.
Yeah, me, 20 years ago,
and not have any adverse effects like weight gain or whatever.
Yeah, it was me. Yep.
There's a guy that can eat one cheeseburger and he gains 10 pounds. Yeah, everybody's different, Kevin.
So this is in rats, and women are smarter, and then there's cingulate corticals, and anyway.
You don't know those words?
This blanket statement of all nicotine is addictive and all fuck off, every one of you. So yeah. Did you see Skip's good news? Or are you going to cover that?
Huh? I can't click on the link, Kevin.
Hang on.
It's in the messages. If I click on it, it just shows up on the screen.
I copy it and paste it. Hold on a minute. Hang on.
I can't copy it. If I click on it to copy it, it just shows up on the screen.
Oh. Well, now I got to find you. There you are. Okay, there we go.
She sent it to you in Twitter as well.
I perused. I skimmed. I thought, well, how about that? That's what my take is on this. I'll be darned.
You'll be damned.
I'll be darned.
I don't believe you'll be darned. I think you'll be damned.
I told Logan. I said to Logan, "Who to thunk it?" And he said, "I thunk it." So I'm already quelling his brain just a little. It just,
What?
He thunk it. What?
Oh, it's one of those things where you click on it and you open it and it says you have to subscribe or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Let me rub it though. I'm gonna rub it. Rub it. So this is good news from our friend Skip. She says this is good news. Now I'm going to read it. It better be good news.
Well,
it says here, Mayor snuffs out vape ban proposed by Lake Forest High School students. Good. Let's crush their spirits in hopes that they have any authority to affect adult life.
Until they're 28.
When they become an adult person, they can then have an opinion. This is indirectly from our friend Bill Tarling. Mayor Randy Tack, Puff Puff. What? Mayor Randy Tack, Puff Puff, passed. Puff Puff passed. You see what they did there, Kevin?
That's right.
On local limitations to the sales of flavored electronic cigarettes suggested by local high school seniors.
Mm-hmm.
It says here, the Lake Forest City Council is not interested in considering a local ban on flavored e-cigarettes, according to the mayor. 2 Lake Forest High School seniors addressed the city council Monday on behalf of their civics class with a pair of proposed ordinances endorsed by the Lake County Health Department. Aha!
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. One would have been the ban of the sale of flavored e-cigarettes, and the other would have placed limitations on the number of retailers, according to the students. Nick Waymeyer said a municipal-level prohibition on flavored e-cigarettes would reduce the number of young people who start using products and sale of which is already prohibited statewide to anyone under the age of 21. He told Alderman vaping is an epidemic among his LFHS students or classmates. Well, then maybe he should suggest to the principal that the teachers do their fucking jobs and monitor the kids better when they go to take a dump.
No.
Yeah. My wife is on the other side of the house. She's going to ask me what I was yelling about. What were you cussing about? I heard you say fuck all the way over here.
Well, I've been with Kevin.
She can't hear Kevin. I have my headphones on. I have seen my peers use vaping products in school, at parties, social gatherings, sporting events, pretty much everywhere, Waymeyer said. The detrimental health effects justify the regulation of these products in our community. Waymeyer, what detrimental health effects are you talking about? Waymeyer said keeping the products out of stores in Lake Forest would limit its appealing marketing's local effects. Xander Mazar said he too sees the addictive effects of nicotine on young people firsthand. Not only do I notice this, but many other students see the same thing day in and day out. It doesn't matter if it's a one-time thing at an event or whether it's seeing people vaping in school every day throughout every class period. It's very frustrating to sit around and see this happening to my peers. Do you think that either one of these kids have ever been to a party, Kevin?
You know what, Patrick? You're just gonna work. She's gonna work me up on the ass end of this. That's all.
I'm just saying, these two kids sound like, two members of the Never Touched a Booby tribe.
My suggestion to these two fuckers is, number one, grow a spine, and when you see a kid vaping, just raise your arm and point at him and say, "Hey, he's vaping," and then I think nature will just take its natural course, and then you will shut the fuck up. Because
one of these days,
you're going to find out. Because I've seen the chart,
Kevin. One of these days, one of these kids is going to be the head of the FDA.
Well, perhaps that's their intent, because right now they're talking for the Lake County Health Department, is what it seems. Because
no. They're being. So here's the thing: model legislation gets handed to these brats. They say, "Hey, if you take this to the city council meeting, we'll give you a day off of school."
Well, sure.
You're going to get credit with your civics class for participating in the local system. And we'll give you a grant when you go to college. We'll pay for one semester of school.
Yeah.
Because the actual health department, are getting a $25,000 grant from, usually these are, passed around by Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids or American Lung Association. This is the pay-to-play system, Kevin.
Well,
yeah. Mazar told the board he and his classmates had collected more than 100 responses to a survey, with 75% supporting a local ban on flavored tobacco and 84% supporting a limit on the number of tobacco retailers in the area.
Sure.
Given the overwhelming support from people around the community, as well as the backing of the Lake County Health Department, he said, I hope you'll find them in other surrounding communities and make the right choice and help end this epidemic once and for all.
The one and for all is what it says.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm trying to, make these kids not sound as
all
retarded.
For one and one for all.
I don't know who wrote this article, but, there's a bunch of grammar errors in here as well. But I've been trying to fix them as I go.
Well,
anyway, Mayor Randy Tack thanked the students for addressing the council about the issue and immediately informed them that there is little chance of it taking an anti-vaping regulatory action. He suggested they instead pursue an education campaign to persuade their peers not to vape or break the fucking law. Oh, that's not in there. I added that myself. Okay.
No.
While we appreciate you speaking on this issue,
yeah,
I scrolled and lost my spot. While we appreciate you speaking on this issue, I want you to know that there are a few reasons why the city council would be reluctant to consider a regulatory ban on the sale of these products. Issues to consider. Number one, there's been minimal documented history from the police department on violations of businesses selling tobacco products to minors. In addition, we have concerns about the efficacy of banning tobacco products while still permitting certain tobacco products to be sold. And last, from what I understand, no other Lake County municipality has enacted a similar ban. One has to question what the value of an isolated ban would be on the ability of youth to obtain these products when they can just cross the county or the city line to the next convenience store and get it there. Oh, I added that part too.
I like that too, Skip. I do. I encourage young people like my sons, if they had an issue that they had, heartfelt feelings about, to voice them. And it seems as if they did this in a proper way. I think they were guided.
I think
guided.
That they were being puppeted by
guided. I'll use guided, but to it never stops though. It doesn't stop. I'm grateful for the response. So they got an idea of how that works in that form. I had to go to the courthouse and watch shit too for government, but it's a participation is good. There's a lot worse problems in that school, I would imagine, than this, but I liked the article in general, and I actually appreciate the response from the mayor. Was it the mayor that said that?
Yes. Yes.
It seemed that it was common sense as a response for that. That's actually pretty good. So if they're being groomed by tobacco-free kids and they all get their little shirts and their pizzas and they go off into the state house as a prop, that pisses me off. This sounds less like a prop, I guess, is the way I see it.
Well, yeah. I'm going to move to Canada, Kevin.
Oh, Canada.
So that I may not be able to get my guns, but I can have free drugs, apparently. According to this article. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It says, this is Jesse Kline. Liberals give away deadly hard drugs while taxing life-saving e-cigarettes, Kevin.
All right.
I went to giving away the hard drug stuff, Vaping and nicotine pouches give Canadians a safer alternative to smoking, but the government is having none of it. None of it, Kevin. Where's the words?
Not even a little?
Yeah. It says here, I feel like I owe my readers an apology, not for using a sexy nurse or calling your children wimps or insulting the Prophet Muhammad, but for advocating that the federal government legalize electronic cigarettes. I first wrote about e-cigarettes back in January of 2012, before most people even heard of them. Back then, there was already a wealth of evidence showing that they were far less harmful than smoking, and many people had used them to kick their tobacco habits. But in 2009, Health Canada had put out a statement claiming jurisdiction over nicotine-containing products and saying that no electronic smoking products have been granted a market authorization in Canada. In practical terms, this meant that the devices themselves could be readily purchased from flea markets and the like, but nicotine liquid had to be bought from gray market sellers over the internet. Full legalization seemed like a good idea. After writing at least half a dozen columns advocating for them to be legalized, the federal government finally stepped up to the plate in 2018, passing a bill that set formal standards around the sale of vaping products. This created a whole new industry virtually overnight and likely helped many people quit smoking. But when the government started piling on a host of nonsensical regulations, child-resistant container rules were applied to the devices themselves, effectively outlawing disposable pod coils, which were more cost-effective and produced less waste. A limit on the amount of nicotine that could contain made e-cigarettes a less effective smoking cessation tool for many long-time smokers. Worst of all, in the 2022 budget, the Liberals announced the government would start applying an excise duty on vape products and invited their provincial and territorial counterparts to join a coordinated vaping taxation framework under which an additional duty equal to the proposed federal rate would be applied. A tax of $7 on a standard 30 ml bottle is a doozy, considering they often sell for around $15. That's nearly a 50% markup. I've even seen 30 ml bottles on sale for as low as $5.75, making it a tax of nearly 122%, plus sales tax, of course. Now, Kev,
what?
Well, all right, you and I can do a 30 ml bottle for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
Yeah.
1800. Yeah.
Like, that's why I said like. Now,
about 100,
I promise
100
you that the vast majority of people in our chat room, maybe not all of them, but the vast majority of them probably do 120 mils a week, if not more.
I do 100 a month.
If they're sub-ohming or if they're using, high value, high voltage devices,
yeah,
they can go through a significant amount of e-liquid in a really fast amount of time.
Yeah.
So if you're in Canada and you do 120 mils a week and you're looking at $7 for a 30 mil, your taxes for a 120 mil bottle are going to be in the area of like $28.
Yep. A week.
Yeah. A week.
Mm-hmm.
And last month, Ontario announced those damn fucking... It would join British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland in taking up the federal government's offer to impose a tax on it of its own, meaning that most liquid nicotine would be subject to at least 100% tax, which is ridiculous for a product that reduces the harm of smoking and saves lives. But it makes sense when you realize the governments have traditionally made big money off of cigarette taxes, and highly indebted governments like those in Ottawa and Toronto know that there's a lot of public appetite for tax hikes. There's not a lot of public appetite for tax hikes, but that picking on nicotine addicts or drinkers would not incite a huge backlash.
No.
Sin taxes are okay. Not for me, but for thee. So what's an addict to do? Go back to smoking or try nicotine pouches, a form of tobacco-free snus, a smokeless tobacco product like this right here. There's some snus right here.
Mm-hmm.
Or these snus, or the wonderful General Tobacco snus. Yeah, I mentioned snus to somebody earlier, and they said, "You're the first non-Swedish person I've ever met that knew what snus were." I'm like, I got lots of friends that know what snuses are.
Oh man,
what is the plural of snus, of snoo?
Probably snooze.
Well, snooze, yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Until recently, they were hard to obtain in Canada. The pouches had to be ordered from the United Kingdom or elsewhere and risk getting confiscated at the border. In July, however, Health Canada approved the sale of Zonic, a brand of nicotine pouches produced by Imperial Tobacco, as a smoking cessation product. Calling it a smoking cessation product is probably a bit disingenuous. Most people likely use nicotine pouches as a harm reduction product, even though there's little functional difference between them and nicotine gum that can be found in any pharmacy. Except, as far as I know, I haven't seen any numbers, but I would have to hazard and say that snus or nicotine pouches are probably better.
Or more enjoyable.
At least more enjoyable, yeah. Most immediately after Zonic went on sale in October, however, advocates started calling on the federal government to regulate them more heavily. To be fair, one of the arguments is there should be an age restriction on their purchase, which is probably reasonable, though again, anyone can walk into a Rexall and buy a pack of Nicorette, which is also available in minty and fruity flavors. Yet, as with vaping products, the argument from the anti-tobacco crowd is really that this is just another way to hook kids on nicotine, which will eventually lead them to inhaling burning tobacco leaves. These products are attractive to youth. They come in appealing flavors. They come in containers that could well hold candy, argued Rob Cunningham of the Canadian Cancer Society. Imperial Tobacco is using classic lifestyle advertising to solve for cigarettes as promoting those addictive products in places where youth are exposed, such as convenience stores. There better not be any use being exposed.
Well, we've covered that.
Ad nauseum. Okay, but convenience stores have always sold cigarettes and other nicotine-containing products. So, Kevin, don't convenience stores sell beer?
They do.
And wine. Some convenience stores in some states sell whiskey and other adult products.
Porn mags, yeah.
Yep.
Rubbers, yeah.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
And those adult products, nobody's demanding that they get
Nobody
banned
cares.
Because they are sold in convenience stores.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. If young people were really just interested in sucking on something fruity, there's a wealth of other options that can be purchased over the counter that aren't addictive.
Sometimes the wording makes me queasy.
Sucking on fruity things is just not right, Kevin. That's not right. But that's not what young rebellious people want. They want to be rebellious, whether that entails sucking back 40s of malt liquor or Demarier's, as well as we did when we were young, a fruity flavored White Claws and JUULs as youth do nowadays. The best society can do is attempt to prevent the sale of such products to minors and ensure less harmful alternatives are readily available. Hi. What happened here? That sucker just kept on scrolling.
What happened?
It just kept on scrolling. The reality is that we're never going to stop young people from trying substances that are potentially harmful or addictive. Most mind-altering drugs are illegal for everyone to buy, but that's never stopped youth from trying them. Yet this is a reality that doesn't seem to be understood by Health Minister Mark Holland, who now says he was duped by the tobacco industry, which he accused of trying to find a way to addict new young people and putting profit ahead over people's lives. Those are strong words for a company that's trying to market a much safer product than the cigarettes they have traditionally sold, a product that does away with carcinogenic tobacco smoke and replaces it with a relatively pure delivery system for nicotine, a drug the Royal College of Physicians in the UK notes is not in itself a highly dangerous drug and not a carcinogen. The idea that adults should be discouraged from using potentially life-saving harm reduction products by making them less effective, less appealing, and more expensive in the name of protecting the children is patently ridiculous, Kevin. It is even more out of step for a country that has gone so all in on harm reduction for drug addicts, a country that gives out potentially deadly opioids, which often end up in the hands of children for free, while forcing ex-smokers to foot the bill with excessively high sin taxes on products that are relatively harmless.
Yeah. Did you notice that the expert got duped? He got snookered because he ain't smart.
Yeah. I
love that.
By big tobacco.
Boy, fuck, you fooled me, motherfucker. I am
They
not
wrote
that
me a big
smart.
ass check though, so I feel okay about it.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Hey Kevin, we're almost to the X's.
No shit. All right.
We're almost to the X's.
I didn't really give you a X of the week this week. It's
I
a
just
blanket
put all
statement.
of the X's that you sent me. I put them all in one pile.
Vape cans.
Not yet. No.
Well, I get excited. You know I do.
Don't get all like preemptive here. We're not there yet. I said we're almost there.
Oh, fine.
All right, here. Let me share this one.
Michael, you're going to be discussed in a little while, I think.
Huh?
I said Michael's going to be discussed. I think it was Michael, wasn't it?
Michael's in the tweets. I know that.
All right, yeah.
All right, it says here, studies, flavored vape bans push youth to cigarettes. Interesting.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams you'd hear that?
Yes, because I've been saying it for years, Kevin.
Huh? So vaping bans lead to smoking. Look at that. Huh.
According to a report by Bloomberg Philanthropies, more than 5 million U.S. high school students are now using e-cigarettes, an increase of 135% from 2017.
They've been out of kids for 5 years.
Apparently doesn't coincide with the most recent numbers from the CDC that said there was a substantial decrease.
Well,
yeah. Anyway, Bloomberg, we all know the blooming idiots will say anything that he tells them to say. Vaping, the report asserts, has exploded into a national crisis, and tobacco companies are helping to fuel it by targeting kids with flavors such as gummy bear and cotton candy. 83% of e-cigarette users use flavored varieties. Kevin,
what?
Every person that vapes uses a flavored liquid.
Well, I venture to say that is a true statement, sir.
100% of e-cigarette users
I can't imagine that
use
it wouldn't
flavored e-liquids, because all e-liquids, if you just put PG, VG, and nicotine into a mixture, Kevin, it's going to taste like nothing but a little sweet. It's going to have a little sweet touch to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like tobacco until you put tobacco flavoring in it.
And of the two of us, at least.
Yes, yeah.
And you can either confirm or deny, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I have never had an actual tobacco taste. Although it's a tobacco labeled flavor, it isn't exactly what I want. None of them are. Two things have come close, but it's not a cigarette. It's not that.
I would love now years ago, Kev, this is no longer, I don't think it exists anymore. But years ago, Cyclops Vapor came out with an e-liquid called The Truth.
Okay.
And The Truth was about 99.9% dead on.
Right. Okay. I got you.
Now, somehow that flavor at one point got handed over to Mike Runshee and the guys at Giant Vapes.
Okay.
And they manufactured it for a while, but they're gone now. So I would love to get that recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one.
I know the owner of Cyclops Vapor, and we are very good friends, but I would never ask him to hand me that because obviously he's not in the business anymore. He's probably signed some sort of, privacy agreement.
Non-disclosure.
But the person that he signed that agreement with is no longer an entity either.
Right.
But the truth, if anybody in the chat room or if anybody in the replay crowd has ever had it, was the best cigarette e-liquid I've ever tried.
And can you imagine that we're actually two people that would like to experience that? Now, I did find early on, and they don't make it anymore, it was a private little company that made a really close Marlboro Light. It was so close that I was like, wow, this is good. And then I went in one day and it was like, yeah, we don't sell enough of it. Damn it. And I didn't know a soul. That's where I went,
Yeah.
And what I make now, and I was taught, is pretty good. It's more of a tobacco flavor than anything else. So other than that one. Anyway, sorry. Had to.
Well, no, not reasonably sorry, but just saying. But
yeah,
I mean, I would love to get that flavor. Is all I'm saying.
You better be worried, buddy.
Speaking of flavors, though, I did speak to Sean Casey today from.
Where is he? New York?
Oh shit! No, he's in Canada. He's a damn Canadian.
Oh,
from
he's
Flavor Art.
I didn't mean to insult him.
He's a Canadian. You don't want to. But I was specifically asking him about a cognac flavor. And they don't have a cognac, but they do have a brandy. And he gave me suggestions on how to turn the Flavor Art brandy into a cognac.
Oh, there you go. I like suggestions.
But Sean is one of those no nonsense kind of guys. We've had him on the show quite a few times over the years. He is not your stereotypical Canadian. He does say foul words.
Oh yeah,
he's almost an honorary Texan, to tell you the truth. But,
damn. All right.
Yeah, I do like him because he doesn't give a shit if he upsets you. He will tell you what is on his mind. I need to reach out to him and have him back on the show because I don't know what the hell's been going on in Canada or with the because he's a high muckety muck in the trade orgs here.
Yeah.
So we could get some information because, I did make fun of VTA for coming out of the woodwork a couple weeks ago with a press release about hiring Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah.
And then we did actually read the Kellyanne Conway op-ed last week.
I almost liked it.
Definitely a paid piece of it. She doesn't work for free. But, I'd like to get some feedback from him on the workings of what's going on because nobody tells me anything anymore, Kevin. They're afraid of me.
Stop digressing.
I think I've burnt some bridges.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't like bridges anyway.
No.
Bridges? I don't need no stinking bridges.
That's right.
Yeah. The report goes on to say that Protect Kids is a 3-year. Oh, it must be a project called Protect Kids. It doesn't mention Protect Kids until now, but anyway, the report goes on to say that Protect Kids is a 3-year, $160 million program led by Bloomberg Philanthropies and the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids to combat this epidemic and push leaders to act. The only drawback to the Bloomberg Philanthropies report is it isn't science-based.
No shit. Wow.
That's the only drawback, that it isn't.
So it's emotional? It's
According to the
emotional.
Chronicle of Philanthropy, Michael Bloomberg or Bloomberg Philanthropies used its money and influence to curb vaping, but others who have worked for decades to reduce death from smoking say the ongoing campaign against e-cigarettes is misguided, built on unsound science, and likely to do more harm than good. I love this already, Kevin. In March 2021, the Chronicle of Philanthropy published a report written by Mark Gunther. Oh, I love Mark Gunther.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. You know, I actually spoke to him on the telephone. Yes, I'm like a, you know how you are with that other writer guy
Don't get lippy.
Is an idiot. Jim McDonald, that guy. You know how you hero worship him? I hero worship Mark Gunther.
I beg to differ.
What?
He's no Dr. Rodu. Go on.
Who is Mark Gunther's no Rodu?
No, Jim is no Rodu.
No, he's definitely not.
Don't be a dickhead.
Charging that anyway, in March of 2021, the Chronicle of Philanthropy published a report written by Mark Gunther charging that Bloomberg Philanthropy's ongoing campaign against e-cigarettes is misguided, built on unsound science, and likely to do that's the same fucking thing that this is horrible writing, person that wrote this piece. That's not Mark Gunther. You have two paragraphs that are virtually identical. Michael Bloomberg has done great things for public health, Kenneth Warner is quoted as saying in Gunther's report, but he is way off base on this. And we all know we love Kenneth Warner. Warner is a founding member of the Truth Initiative, the nonprofit public health organization committed to ending tobacco use. Warner has been the president of the Society for Research on Nicotine and Tobacco, the senior scientific editor of the 25th anniversary Surgeon General's report on smoking and health, and the dean of the University of Michigan's School of Public Health. He's C. Doug's friend. Critics of the Bloomberg campaign argue that while e-cigarettes and combustible tobacco, cigarettes, cigars, pipes, etc., both contain nicotine, e-cigarettes are much less dangerous than smoking. Vaping appeals to smokers who want to quit smoking but need a nicotine fix, Gunther reported. So while no one wants teenagers to vape, removing flavored e-cigarettes from the market deprives adult smokers a popular, safer alternative.
It also provides a safer alternative for kids who smoke and change their habit.
Kevin.
What?
Kevin.
What?
No, we're gonna get in trouble if you keep saying intelligent things like that.
I don't give two fucks.
Worse, wrote Gunther, that critics say that by exaggerating the dangers of e-cigarettes, Bloomberg Myers, their allies have inadvertently given people a reason to smoke. On October 17th of 2023, Yale School of Public Health report concurs. Yale, Kevin, they're usually not very smart. They're an Ivy League school.
Well, it's a challenge at times.
The immense popularity of electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes among young people has led many policymakers to restrict the sale of flavored varieties, the report states, but rather than nudging people away from vapes, as these electronic cigarettes are called, such measures could backfire by driving users to instead buy conventional cigarettes, a much more dangerous product, according to the researchers at the Yale School of Public Health. The report also states that on a large-scale, long-term analysis of policies and sales data, the researchers found that for every 0.7 milliliters of e-liquid, the consumable content inside e-cigarettes, also known as vape juice, that is not a word that we use, Kevin, vape juice.
At best.
Not any grown adult person. Vape juice. What the hell do you squeeze vape juice from?
I cannot answer that question under the grounds that may incriminate me.
What do? You get a whole bunch of vapors, you put them in a machine and squeeze them until the juice comes out?
I'm going to squeeze the vape juice right out of you, motherfucker.
Anyway, the researchers found that for every 0.7 milliliters of e-liquid that goes unsold due to flavor restrictions, 15 additional traditional cigarettes are sold.
Stop.
The substitution. What?
Right there.
I did. What?
Do those 15 additional traditional cigarettes sold include kids?
I would assume.
Then I refer to my previous point, and I don't have any fucks.
So they're saying that for every almost 1 milliliter of e-liquid that goes unsold, 15 cigarettes get sold. Yeah.
Okay.
The substitution was especially evident among cigarette brands popular with young people aged 20 and under, suggesting flavor restrictions may increase smoking among youth as well as adults.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. The study also found that where e-cigarette flavor restrictions had been in effect for at least a year, sales of cigarette brands favored by adults went up 10%, while sales of cigarette brands disproportionately attracted to younger underage smokers saw a 20% bump.
Huh. Well, but we don't want kids to vape. The conflict of interest here. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Michael says that Glance says that you can smell their underwear. I wonder how Glance got that science. How he conducted that. Research.
James woke up.
Where you been? You've missed the vast majority of the show. Just saying. James, you know.
Stop
set
shaming
an
them.
alarm. That's all right. There will be replays.
Just for being so late, we are not cuddling, you and me, James. It just no.
Oh, I bet if he came to you, you would spoon with him.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
In light of these results, the Yale report states policymakers might want to consider other approaches to protect public health where tobacco is concerned. The research for the Yale study was funded by the National Institutes of Health awards from the National Cancer Institute and Food and Drug Administration, as well as the National Institute of Drug Abuse.
So what you're saying, it would just narrow this down to brass tacks, if you will. I don't like that term, but I'll use it. You're suggesting in this article, not you, they, that if you ban a less harmful alternative, that you don't want children to use, that they will turn to a more harmful alternative because you've banned the former.
Yeah.
Right? Am I following this?
That's right there it's right there in the part that I have highlighted, Kevin.
But at the same time, they don't want kids to vape. Now, at one point earlier in the show, I don't like, 14-year-old little snot-nosed fuckers coming into the courtroom saying, you guys need to, because you have no voice, you have no say, you have no ability to vote. Shh. That's the seen and not heard part. Although I do understand them knowing the process. On the other hand, when a child is, how old is a smoker when they're a smoker? Well, I was 9, so where's the line?
Why do you keep lying 9? You know it was like 6.
Well, all right. But, I guess with Dad, I probably had, Jason's in here. Did he just sneak in all by himself?
No, he's been here. Jason's been here.
Oh, I didn't see him earlier. And we scared Michelle off.
I picked on him earlier. I did. Definitely, I did.
So if the child is going to smoke or vape, you tell me what's better. Go on. Let's go. I ain't scared.
Well, as long as they're not smoking crack,
I think there's a lot less trouble with that. Evidently, nobody talks about that.
It still happens.
I haven't heard that in years.
Or crystal meth. Or they take their ADHD meds, which is exactly the same as crystal meth.
Amphetamines are just as common as can be.
Yep. Here we got one final news article before we get to the Twitters, the X's.
All right.
Yeah. This is from us. This is again for our Aussie friends.
Again.
Yep. New graphic health warnings to be printed on vapes and cigarettes after anti-smoking laws pass.
Well,
now you do understand, Kevin, that this is not only on the packaging for the cigarettes.
Yeah.
That they are intending to put a warning on every cigarette.
Well, that's because it doesn't make any sense, and that's what they should do.
So as you smoke that cigarette, the warning label will disappear.
Into your lungs.
Yes.
Presumably.
Uh-huh. So it says here, Australia's tobacco industry will have 1 year to roll out repulsive new warnings on cigarettes and vape packets after the federal government's historic anti-smoking laws officially pass on Thursday. I think I have to unrub this a little bit because I can't read the text. There we go. The ad was blocking some of
This is like the less flammable liquid content that they put in cigarettes too, right?
Right. Adults, Australia's tobacco industry will have 1 year to roll out repulsive new health warnings on cigarette and vape packets after the federal government's historic anti-smoking laws officially passed on Thursday. Health Minister Mark Butler, not Mike Hunt, he's gone. Greg Hunt is gone. Unveiled a suite of new graphic warning labels, warning that Australians had become desensitized to warning labels and images that have been adorning packets since 2011.
Duh.
The most concerning thing over the last 10 years is the advice that the government has received is that the smoking rates, which have been declining steadily for 50 years or so, have started to plateau. Well, you're hitting the point of diminishing returns is essentially what you're getting now.
50. You got to go 50 years to. You got to go 50 years to show this.
Yeah.
If you go 5, you don't. It's all of the numbers.
We are not currently on track to achieve the targets that that are set out in the National Tobacco Strategy, and that's why I am so delighted the Parliament has passed a new generation of laws to take the fight back up to big tobacco and save more Australian lives.
Yeah.
So let's scroll down here, Kevin, because we have some examples of the warning pictures that are
stuff we can collect. Oh, get them all.
Let me open this in a new tab so we can see it over here.
So fucking ridiculous.
Let's rub it.
This makes people feel better, right? That's all it does. It doesn't do anything else.
They're gonna be collecting this shit like baseball cards. I'm telling you, man.
I swear I've seen, and I don't know. I really can't name who it was. That there was probably Juke, I guess, or maybe Phil. They've done the studies on these allegedly, and allegedly these don't make any difference at all. Clearly, obviously, because there's still millions of people smoking over there. But I don't know for sure. It's been a while since I've seen that tweet.
Jason is finally getting our joke about Greg Hunt. I've only been telling that same joke for like 6 or 8 years now.
I was going to say a few years, yeah.
Oh, the whole time he was health minister of Australia, I was telling that joke. At first, I was questioning what this was a picture of over here, but then I realized I knew what it was.
Well,
I mean, Kevin, look at it.
And another part of this, these pictures, somebody was used and it had nothing to do. I think this was a leg amputation. They took a picture of the guy and it had nothing to do with him smoking. He never smoked, if I remember right. Anyway, they faked these.
Going. So there's quit line inserts. Now here, let's open that in a new tab here.
Let's get as many letters on there so there's more things to inhale.
All right. So these are just like cards that they have in there.
It probably is, Jason.
And then these are some of the text warnings that will be printed on cigarettes, individual cigarettes.
It doesn't say these are safer than vapes. Okay. All right. I was just wondering.
Yeah. These are market tested messages.
Yeah. To whom? To people that smoke? No.
I guess they will collect those as well.
Yeah. Do you hate smokers? Yes. Could you answer a few questions for us, please? Absolutely. Do you like these? Oh, I love these. These are great. Let's use those. That's how that fucking went.
Anyway. Under the major changes, cigarette and vaping manufacturers will be given a transition period, 12 months, starting April 1st of 2024 to comply with new packaging requirements. Retailers will be given a further 3 months to update their stock as new wording labels are gradually rolled out. Laws will also extend current advertising restrictions on cigarettes to vaping products, banning the use of brand names designed to popularize use such as Cool Crush or Smooth Vapes. Tuesday's announcement came after the historic anti-smoking and vaping laws flew through lower house after a vigorous debate in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
would any of this deter you, Patrick? 15 years ago?
No, I would be collecting that shit. When I was a teenager or a young adult person that was smoking, I would have collected those like baseball cards.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed the hate, honestly. Didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Just didn't.
Yeah. Now, Kevin. Now. Do you know what time it is?
It must be Vape Cats. X of the week.
Exactly.
It's time for the Vape Cats X of the week.
I don't know where I stole that round from, but I stole it from somewhere. I'm going to unrub this. This is too big.
Things you've never heard.
I have to look at some baseball stats or something.
Hey. Hydrate, people. Just do that.
Yeah. So this is the first of several tweets that Kevin sent this week. He claims that he's not picking one to be the best.
I'm not.
But this is a water is wet statement here, Kevin.
Well, it is a water is wet.
Yeah. Read it.
So well, it's a little, in case you missed it, I can't read the first one. Doctors.
Oh gosh, let me re-rub it again then.
Melissa Harrell, there we go. Anna Wilson, somebody else, and Sarah Messiah studied whether anxiety leads youth, think of the wording, kids, whether anxiety leads youth to start using tobacco and cannabis at an earlier age. Read their findings. And I thought, well, geez, I think I'll oblige. And I did. And I read them. Right. All the while, I
was agreeing with you.
All the while thinking, well, that's not what Robin Cavall, now what's her face? Catherine, don't want to lie to the kids individually, whatever the fuck her last name is, said, because I don't understand. It's a predictor of the age of initiation of tobacco. Anxiety, stress, anxiety, all the things that they say are caused by nicotine. Evidently, I guess it's not true. I don't understand. I'm confused. Which clown do I believe? Now, I don't call these people clowns because it seems to be like a normal thing here.
Yes.
And right.
So this is actually the study that was being referred to in that tweet.
Yeah.
And the conclusion here is this study's findings show anxiety symptoms can increase the risk of substance use initiation at an earlier age, especially among the youngest adolescent cohort, the 15 to 16-year-olds. These findings highlight the importance of early screening and treatment of anxiety problems or anxiety symptoms as a preventative measure to delay or prevent the onset of substance use initiation. Now,
so there's this depression stick is all full of shit then, is it?
Exactamundo, Kevin.
Oh my goodness, look at there. Okay.
Now, I
just wanted to make sure.
I believe that you and I and our friend Skip and our friend Richard did 2 hours of the greatest hunt ever in the vaping sphere. I don't care if you are a huge Grim Green fan, or if you're a huge DJ LSB fan, or if you're a huge Dimitri and Phil fan. Those 2 hours I put up against any show that has ever been produced by anyone,
including Dr. Glover and Dr. Gardner and all the other ones we've had.
They don't produce a show. They are guests on the shows.
No, that show above all others. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
Period.
I don't care who you want to sleep with or whatever, who you're trying to impress. I will personally say I will challenge any other vaping media people that do shows to compare any show that they've ever had to the awesomeness of those 2 hours. I don't care. I don't care who you are.
And that wasn't even us. That was them.
Yes.
We were just the carrier of the vehicle.
We just hosted the conversation and asked questions.
Moderated, if you will.
Yes, yes. So here, Kevin, this is another tweet from like your only smart friend, Juka.
That's my only. Wait till Phil hears that one. So there's this thing called community notes.
Yes.
And I see it, so I signed up, and it said I'm confused with it, but I can rate, I guess. So far, I can't do anything else, I guess. So I'm in it, but I don't understand it all for the rules of what I can eventually do.
Right.
However, the Franciscan goofballs over at Indiana, Illinois, somewhere over there, said that the rising trend, Indiana. In
Illinois.
Teens. Oh, Illinois, was it? I'm old. I can't say.
Illinois.
Indiana and Illinois. We're both right.
I'm
can have
right.
negative impacts on their health. Learn about the risks of vaping, why they've become popular among teens, and how to help teens stay away from it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong after you correct them. It's gone down, you dumb fucks. So so somebody got this in, and it says right there it's declined by more than 60%. You fucking liar. And on top of that little box on the bottom right of that tweet, or across from the 30.6 thousand, is the hidden replies that they hid and they kept.
Oh, look at that!
There's my other smart friend Phil.
Well, I
know you're going to eat them words. It's okay. You can do that.
And Rob?
Yes, sir. Among others, there's probably 30. I don't know for sure, but they were hiding.
And they hid that one too. Did you see that? Rob asked them, "Why are you hiding Phil's awesome, accurate post?"
Well,
they
sure.
hid his They hid that. Chuck, our friend Chuck.
Well, looky there.
Chuck
Great
also
guy.
got blocked or hidden.
Mm-hmm.
He got hidden again. Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. Let's keep going. Let's see who else. Juka got hidden.
Yep.
Kaiser.
And for the record,
Mallory,
Patrick,
who's not here in the
Juka,
chat room.
She is. Juka is my only
She's
smart
not.
friend, according to Patrick.
Mallory
in
is not. Mallory is not in the chat.
I saw her earlier. Okay.
I don't think you did. I didn't say hello to her.
Oh, there's Michael.
Michael got silenced as well. Twice.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she goes. She's just not talking much. Okay. Oh, there's that goober.
You scared her.
And Dave.
Among others in the subtweets and the half tweets and the.
Yeah, but these are just the main people that were silenced in the hidden replies tab.
Most of which are my friends.
I bet you most of the people in the chat room didn't know that little thing right there was the
hidden replies.
Hidden replies. So we're learning. We're teaching new things to everybody.
See that right there? See that right there? Who can reply?
Only people that they tag in it can reply now.
They can do that
replies
before.
Off, Kevin.
They can do it before as they do the tweet, or they can do it after. And they said, "Oh shit, we're wrong. We're going to just hide this shit."
Oh, and then they do this. Let's see if who wrote something offensive.
Probably nobody.
Well, it says that I can see shows or replies that are offensive, but then I click on it.
There ain't any.
And there ain't none because they hit them all.
There ain't any. So then people quoted the tweet by saying, "Why are you hiding this? Why are you hiding this?" And then obviously Michael said Greg got in there with that. So he's a community.
He's a community notes person.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, I probably should see if I can get in there.
You know, I feel like I'm being bad because I know adults don't like flavors, but these are pretty good. I like these. So just saying.
So now here's a tweet from our friend Mike who's in the chat room.
Well, you know, sometimes trouble can find trouble, and I'm usually pretty good at that. So if you go up, I'm not sure. I think she did. Okay, so she deleted it. I do have a screenshot somewhere. It's not really worth saying, but there was an illusion of dangers. And when we do the bandwagon thing, which I ignored the one today, by the way, on purpose. I saw Michael's tweet that I sent you. He was thanking her or whatever it was. Before that, he was doing this. The one I saw is the one I sent. I rarely will go back and delete tweets. But
I don't believe that. I don't believe in that.
Well, okay, so it was bone healing. That's right. So vaping was just as bad as smoking for bone healing.
Give me a second. What? I gotta rub it.
So engagement.
This one
is rare. Yes. Oh, you did have it. Okay.
Yeah. But it was no longer a tweet, it's a picture.
Right. Yeah, screenshot. So when you see that, and she I don't think I ripped her ass. I think I was trying to give her some sensible things, maybe not. And a couple of people got a little stronger than me, but Michael got a response from her. And then as soon as I saw that, I went and deleted a couple of, I think 2 or 3 of my tweets, because when I had done it, then I saw his and I thought, well, it must have been because I was on that thread that his showed up when I
Right.
went back to home.
So she didn't delete all of her responses. She deleted 3 of her responses.
Right. Correct.
But here's Mike, and she responds. He says, what in a nicotine vape damages your lungs? Are there levels high enough in a nicotine vape to actually damage the lungs? Are there any cases that you can point to? She says, there are tons of articles. And then she links to lung.org.
Yeah.
He says, I'm looking for facts, not fear mongering. I fix cars for a living. If I say a fan wire is burned up, I need to prove it burned up and explain why so that it can be prevented from happening again. If you're telling me something about lung damage, how and by what mechanism? And then she says, the link I posted is from the American Lung Association. Maybe you can get more info from them directly. I think my blog is mainly about bone healing. The risks of vape are lower than smoking. We don't know why bone healing is affected. Research may take 10 years aimed at awareness. We already have bodies of science of smoking and nicotine on bone health. And I would say that nicotine in itself, if you look at what it does to the human body, has nothing to do with bone healing. Now, some of the other toxins that are in combustible cigarettes that do not exist in vaping do affect bone health.
Oh, now Tic Tac comes in. Right.
He's been back. He's been back a while after I picked on him.
Right. So with that, I did not know it. That's how it was interpreted, and to see a professional. I like the word conceited, Michael. To see a consumer and a professional acting like a professional makes me have hope for those of us who are trying to just get to the point, right? So I was really grateful that Michael did that. And I did tell him, I don't think I had her on the other thread, but I said something like that, and then I actually deleted a couple of tweets because they were just being Kev. So,
I saw this exact quote, better the devil you know, on a video that I did not select to show tonight because it was 2 idiots on YouTube talking about vaping and smoking.
It wasn't us?
No, it was 2 other idiots.
2 other idiots? 2 other clowns? All right.
Yeah. It was 2 completely other idiots that were talking about smoking and vaping.
Yeah. So I am grateful for Michael and the others. There were a few other people in there too. But with Michael, she seemed to go, okay, I see this tweet. Now I'm going to go. And she went with Michael, and that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Because he didn't call her an idiot like you would have.
Well, I don't think I was that rude, but
you're pretty damn rude. You say pretty mean shit on Twitter, dude.
I can be harsh, and I'm not against being harsh, but I don't think I was with her specifically. But Michael had a more democratic way of doing it, I guess.
Right, and he says exactly what I just said in the fucking. He says the studies I've read have said that there's no clinical importance difference in bone healing with or without nicotine. I mean, biologically, I don't see any reason why it would. Again, cigarettes, on the other hand, there are toxins involved that, when metabolized, could indeed affect the way bone heals. But
so when you
vaping.
when you take the massive amount of information from that we've just tried to get out of Dr. Glover, and she's a volunteer giving us. If Miss Layden Hedgepour has a better understanding of what she's saying and what it's interpreted as, and then she says maybe to another colleague next to her, going, "Hey, change that around. That doesn't read correctly." I hope that's what this does in her life. And I hope that progresses on to other people. That's what I want to see. That's it. I want you to be honest, and I want you to tell the truth, and I want you to go, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. You know.
All right. So I again, in my effort to find posts
skip
from people that are not in our group, that may or may not have to do with nicotine or vaping. I here's one from Fix at Neural Net Dreams. It says here, the irony of vaping summed up in 4 points highlighted on a bottle of long gone juice. 1, this product is made from tobacco. Huh?
Yeah.
FTC FTB statement. This product contains no tobacco or nicotine. I'm fucking confused. 3, keep out of reach of children. Much like a dildo, you wouldn't stick that up a kid's face. It's like an adult product. 4, ingredients: vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, natural and artificial flavorings and sweeteners. May contain traces of nuts, like Parliament. That is all.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, the TTB statement. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. See, this is what happens. Sonia saw it. But
oh my goodness.
So I said, in an effort to look outside of our friend circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes we find gems.
Yeah.
And here's another one. I saw this one, thought it was a little funny. This is from Johnny Weiss at Johnny13. It says, me and the boys when we quit vaping and go back to cigarettes.
That is funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's pretty much. Yep. There you go. I remember that one.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's what they want. You and the boys.
Apparently, he's also an Australian convict, Johnny Weiss, according to people in the chat room.
Yes, Skip. Be kind. Change conversation. Plant seeds. Hashtags.
I have planted my seed all over the place. Oh no, never mind.
Skip's gonna up her game. See, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
that's because we're the #1 show on right now. That's
I think we're the only people on right now. Okay,
probably.
Kev, we have exhausted our content for Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Yeah. Well, good. I get to go to bed early. What?
No. We have more things to discuss over on the Rumbles, on the exclusive part of the broadcast that is only on Rumble. So we're gonna play like a little clip, and we will be over there as soon as it's done. And I think just to enjoy some more time with our the founder of Objectivism, Ayn Rand, will play a minute and 53 seconds of Ayn Rand, and then we will be back over here. So Jason is already over in the Rumbles. So let's just we'll see you over there. Love those of you that aren't going to go over there. I'm telling you, you're gonna miss out on some fun shit. We're gonna have some stuff. But anyway, here
am I gonna like you less?
Probably.
All right. Well,
but you're gonna like your government way less.
That's not probably possible, but okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
All right. Here's some Ayn Rand.
I call it objectivism.
All right.
Meaning a philosophy based on objective reality. Now let me explain it as briefly as I can. First, my philosophy is based on the concept that reality exists as an objective absolute. that man's mind, reason, is his means of perceiving it, and that man needs a rational morality. I am primarily the creator of a new code of morality which has so far been believed impossible, namely a morality not based on faith.
On
or
faith.
Not on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason, a morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary.
All right. All right.
Now, may I define what my morality is?
All right.
Because this is merely an introduction. My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. And since man's mind is his basic means of survival, I hold that if man wants to live on earth and to live as a human being,